There we go.
All right, pre-show is live.
Cool. So you guys know I've been like, I have a thing for burgers. I think everybody's got a thing for burgers, right?
Yes.
I've been trying to expand my palate some and try different kinds of burgers. So I tried turkey burgers. They're actually pretty good.
Yes.
They're not bad.
The different veggie burgers are iffy. It depends on what brand you get. I actually find Morningstar is typically the best when it comes to burgers. Veggie
Avoid
burgers.
quinoa.
There's a difference between veggie burgers and Impossible Burgers, right?
Right.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
mostly they're still vegetable based.
Mhm.
The Impossible Whopper is still vegetable based stuff. I actually picked up a 2-pack of burgers to try, and you're probably all going to recoil in horror when you hear this.
Oh God.
But I just bought shrimp burgers.
Ooh,
Oh,
Death.
you're brave.
that's
brave.
death.
You're brave.
Well,
That's concentrated
You're brave.
death.
We'll play the taps for you.
So, considering I enjoy seafood, I had the choice between getting flounder burgers or shrimp
Oh, God.
burgers.
Oh, those
And-
were the salmon
and-
patties.
Since I enjoy shrimp immensely more than I do most fish, I said, hey, why not get the shrimp burgers? So I'll be trying those later this week.
Well, I hope you enjoy them.
If
I
you're
hope
not
I
on
do
the show,
too.
if you're not on the show next week, we know why.
There's that too, yes.
I tried a turkey burger the other day for the first time. It was pretty good.
You know, you can get the ones that are
It's-
seasoned.
Doesn't it? Okay, so here's the thing. Having had a turkey burger, doesn't it sit a lot lighter in your stomach?
Yeah, it does. I actually like it a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
better. But that was the thing. When I started HRT, I could not stand the smell of like ground beef like at all. So I like switched to, like turkey bacon and like I couldn't stand the smell of any of that kind of like greasy type stuff anymore. I tried that. It was fantastic. It was so good.
That's got to
Like
be
me.
a side effect of estrogen, because when my wife is in her time, is the best way to
Shark
put
Week.
it, and when she was pregnant, she couldn't stand the smell of red meats in any form.
That's what happened to me, man. I could not eat seafood like at all. I couldn't stand it. I could not stand like I didn't really like dig chicken. Like I was like a pure like pork and beef. Like I was that kind of person.
You were downing
But-
chicken.
Man, once I started HRT, I could not stand it. It was like chicken and fish like every night because I could not stand even just to cook it. I couldn't stand the smell of it. It couldn't be in the same room as it.
When my girlfriend was pregnant, she goes, it was the funniest thing ever. She hated jalapenos. Now she loves jalapenos. She was craving them every day. It was hilarious.
Dude, your taste buds will change on that stuff because I could not handle spice like at all. Couldn't stand it. Like spice, I'd be like, I'm not gonna eat it. Not even salsa. Like that was too spicy for me.
Look at it.
These are
Now-
my trophies right. Oh,
Hi, David.
Yeah.
these are my trophies right here for spice. This is the Last Dab Triple X and the Last Dab Apollo. This Triple X is the peach pepper, pepper X, and chocolate pepper X all in one. It's a mustard base. And then this is the brand new Apollo pepper that was created. This is not rated on the Scoville scale yet. This is over 2 million. This is not yet rated. And I finished both bottles.
Wow.
Oh, ooh.
How are you alive? And that thing on the
Spicy.
toilet and staying right
Every
now.
morning- everyone-
Spiciness is such a strange thing. It's almost like a cult.
Look, that was
Teen Titans
burning.
Go is right. Once
How
you
is your
start,
house?
once
So-
you start
so-
challenging yourself with spices, you just got to get the
Can't
next
stop, yep.
spiciest thing
Mhm.
going up and up and up until you're just torturing yourself with,
So
with liquid death.
let me give you some advice, Mr. Kirkley. I think it would
Yes.
be wise of you to move to India.
Well, here's the funny thing. I'm half Bangladeshi.
That explains
Which
it.
makes all kinds of sense.
Yes, it does.
I like how Greg is like trying to prove that he's like doing the Dark Souls of condiments.
Well, it's
See,
because I watched. Sorry, son. I watched a show on YouTube called Hot Ones, where they interview the celebrities eating progressively
Yeah.
hotter wings.
Aw.
I saw their sauces, so I was like, "Hey, I'm going to try these sauces." So I go to their website and I get their sauces and I eat them, and they're pretty good.
You want to talk about a hot sauce story?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
What did you do to Lane?
No, I didn't do anything. My roommate, he ordered this food additive,
Uh-oh.
and it's called Satan's Blood.
Yes,
fuck.
I've heard.
Even
And,
Ross recoiled.
It's
Oh.
Yeah,
very
Ross
different,
coughed.
but, I mean, it warns on the bottle
Oh, God.
not to use as a dipping sauce. It's a food additive, which means you
Mhm.
have to use a very tiny amount.
Right, okay.
We went to a local shop and got some breakfast burritos. And
Susanna.
he
I know where this is going.
he brought out
Right.
we came down here and he brought out his additive, and
Wow.
he had like a toothpick, and he dipped it in and like just kind of speckled the burrito with it. And
Oh, no.
I basically videotaped him because the challenge was to to videotape him eating it while like he answered a question or something. I don't remember what I asked him, but like he bit on this thing and like he was just kind of like and like trying to contemplate the answer, and eventually he did start talking, but I'll always remember just like he did cough at one point and he's like, this tastes terrible, this just tastes like smoke now. And it was just like, you poor man, you like, this is like, we got these delicious breakfast burritos, they're like the best in the state, at least, and as far as I'm concerned, we do have a very good local burrito place, and dipped your Satan's blood all over this thing, and now it just tastes like garbage, you poor man.
Please tell me you recorded this.
Yeah, he said he recorded it.
It's
Let's
on,
find
I
the
think
video.
I think it was a Snapchat thing, so I don't know if there's like an actual file. And even if it is, I don't know if he'd let me share it with people outside the circle of friends. But I mean, it was a very charming moment.
So there's this weird thing when it comes to spicy foods and to me. I guess again, this is the contrarian thing. Yeah. So everybody's moved on to the flaming hot whatever the hell shit that they enjoy. I can't stand that stuff. I can barely handle like Pizza Hut's medium buffalo wings because those were literally the hot wings of like 20 plus years ago, right? Except when it comes to the fire sauce from Taco Bell. And I've actually come to realize it's not so much about it being spicy as much as it is being flavorful and spicy and not tasting like fucking vinegar and heat. Which is why I can't stand Louisiana hot sauce either.
Yeah, that last dab XXX, it's hot, no joke, but the flavor is there. It uses a mustard base and a few other things, so it tastes good. That's how it traps you, though. It tastes great until you're about 2 wings in, and then you're crying.
Well, like I used to be able to handle spicy foods. It was fine, but ever since I got the trach, I can't stomach them because like it does like this acid reflux thing, and having stuff coming up through your neck, especially spicy, it's not fun.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. That's the thing. The medium and the hot sauces from Taco Bell are just straight vinegar sauces. The fire sauce is basically like a spicy salsa.
Yeah.
Because there's even like vegetables in the little sauce packets. Just like
I got
diced
kind
up
of
veggies.
Burnt out on hot sauces in the Navy because everybody had hot sauces. They had about 4 different varieties everywhere. You had your Tapatio, you had your Chipotle, which everyone giggled and pronounced Chipotle.
What?
Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Yeah, you had your Tabasco, Tapatio, Cholula, and everybody just poured hot sauce over everything because
they basically rated all the different MREs. Okay, got it.
Well, no, this was for the regular food. These were condiments that the cooks put out because if you go directly buy Navy preparation cards, there's no seasoning added to everything. It's all bland.
Yeah.
Hot sauce,
it's by design.
Yeah.
That's why I love watching. Steve was 19. I think it's 1988 on YouTube. He eats like MREs from like all kinds of stuff. Like he eats World War II stuff, and the ones that are still good. Let's be honest, right?
I saw a video of a guy eating an expired egg omelet MRE. He didn't know.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. There's a reason they call the veggie omelet the vomelet. And Steve actually had a fresh one and was like, "No, this isn't." And then he tried to take another bite of it and started to gag. And I'm like, "Dude, stop!"
Well, there goes my appetite.
But it's so interesting to watch him eat the ones from other countries because they actually use spices in those other dishes in the other countries with their MREs. So it's like, yeah, everything in the U.S. is bland. It's like no wonder people talk about the Army mochaccino. It's like literally one of the only flavors you get in a U.S. MRE.
Ross is about to lose it.
No. Just another memory coming back.
Ross understands.
Oh, I've had Army MREs.
Yeah, allow me to explain the Army mochaccino, or just the Ricky Mocha, as we called it. This is just taking your Navy coffee, usually run with either previously used or double. They use twice the amount of grounds that you should have because it's supposed to make the coffee stronger. No, it just makes it more bitter. And then as you brew your cup, you also dump a pack of hot chocolate in there because that's what we got. And then you steal each and every Irish cream or Irish creme, because people think it's funny to mispronounce stuff. All the flavored sweeteners that you can't. Oh, hello again.
Kitty.
And just dump everything in there, and you got yourself a Ricky Mocha.
Ross.
It sounds like Ractagino.
It's entirely a thing for them to be amused by mispronouncing shit. They're literally the frat boys who would laugh at fucking fart jokes on a submarine.
Yeah.
The Army and the Air Force are the same way. The only difference is the Air Force grows up a little and they get rewarded with better food.
Remember, son, Ross was one of those frat boys at one time.
I was never a frat boy.
You were in the Navy.
He was in the Navy. That didn't mean he was the frat boy.
She's talking.
He was. Oh no! Did we lose Ross again?
We need to.
So basically, Ross was literally the airman in the Navy. I'll be completely honest. Ross is more of an airman type in the military than he should have ever been in the Navy. He should have been in the Air Force. Honestly,
I wanted to be Jonesy. I wanted to be Jonesy from Hunt for October.
You just wanted to be on a ship with USS on the hat. That's all it was. Don't lie.
That's not even close, Justin. Have you not seen Hunt for Red October? You know what I'm talking about.
Yes. No, so you wanted to Blair Pakaninum down in the below and have a Russian sub skip.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to do.
See, my problem is all I know about the Navy I learned from watching McHale's Navy, and the sad thing is a bunch of that shit is actually true.
Yep. And the problem with blaring music into the ocean is that there are a bunch of EPA regulations and international laws against broadcasting stuff into the ocean. All of that is tracked and regulated, and bad things happen if you do things improperly.
Well, bad things happen because that's literally why all the whales keep stranding themselves, is because more and more
and that's not submarines' fault, by the way.
Of course
People blame
not.
the subs.
You guys actually have all those regulations. Deep sea drilling, well, not so much.
No, and also, the points of a submarine is not to be seen and not to be heard.
Exactly. It's called silent running for a reason.
Unless you have one that's ran by Chelsea Grammer.
Damn cruisers and the destroyers that are making all the noise.
I was
the kind of noise that is buried into my skull and is the stuff of my fucking nightmares.
My vision of the Navy was always two things, because I grew up and saw both these movies at a young age. Either my experience of the Navy was either going to be down Periscope or Hunt for Red October.
It's down Periscope.
I knew it. More or less. Fucking knew it.
So you can't actually hear people walking around and singing and things like that, but dropping something and it reverberates through the hull. Yes, you can hear that.
Oh man.
So tell them about the most dirty word that's also the most innocuous thing ever when in a submarine. Cavitating.
Oh yes. See, don't get me started on Sequest, David.
I love Sequest.
Don't get me started. That's a topic for another day. And we are over 15 minutes into pre-show. It's time to get things started.
All right. Cavitating sounds so dirty, but it's so innocuous.
Oh, I mean, it's us. Anything we say is dirty half the time. So, especially whenever you and Ross are involved.
That's true.
Habitation.
I mean, I'll be honest. I may be the avatar, but I am the pervert here.
Yeah.
Well, no, I take that back. I'm not the pervert. I'm the provert because I'm a professional at what I do.
Oh, Jesus. All right, let's start the show.
What am I going to offer a response?
Yes, you will, and you'll like it. Where's my damn stuff at? Thank you. All right, here we go.
Loki, The Bad Batch, Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Recovery, Star Trek Prodigy, and Batman. Oh. All of this and more tonight on the Real SuperGeeks.
I guess I should say, what's new, pussycat?
Welcome to the Real SuperGeeks podcast on the 18th day of June 2021. Glad to have everybody back, and what a week it has been. E3, new release of Star Trek Picard, the new trailer for Star Trek Picard, new info, the cast reveal of Star Trek Prodigy, new episodes of Loki, The Bad Batch, and all of E3, as interesting and disappointing as it was. Let's get into it. My name is Ross, live, love, play, the eyebrows of doom himself, sporting Hawaiian shirt, enjoying the heat and dreading the upcoming winter, for I know it is coming. Joining me this week is our wonderful returning cast of characters. Our dissenting opinion himself, Commander Kirkley. How you doing this week?
Doing all right and braving the heat myself. We're at 5 days straight of 100 degrees. We're projected to hit about another 10, so it's going to be great down here in southern New Mexico. So it's nice and warm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Hey, at least we're not all in Texas where the energy grid is saying, hey, conserve heat because we can't handle it. Raina,
Exactly.
how are you dealing with it?
It is awful. It's awful. They're telling us to conserve power and everything, and now we've got this thing where it's always a hot shower to the point of scalding because the pipes are so hot here because that is also not insulated anymore.
But hey, don't use your ovens.
Yeah, why would you even use that in this heat? I don't care if you have AC on or not. It's been a good week though. It started out kind of chaotic, but I got some stuff sorted out medically, which has been great. And I took Sunseal's stream as a bad advice and actually played Tomb Raider all the way through. And I don't know why I stuck around as long as I did.
You poor thing.
Oh, how?
That game frustrates me so fucking much.
How
What the
did you
hell did
survive?
they do to Lara Croft? Oh my god.
I will have you guys know that I played through the reboot on stream from beginning to end in one sitting.
And you're still saying?
And it is awful.
It is. It is
It's terrible. And you know what? I'm starting the second one. You're welcome. What I do for my audience.
Oh boy. Well, that'll probably be the only way I'll see the sequels. Let's be honest, because I sure as fuck ain't playing them.
Oh, the second one gets even weirder.
Oh, don't say that.
See, the thing
In
is,
its story, I can't speak to how
thing is-
you guys would enjoy the actual gameplay.
the story for the reboot of Tomb Raider is actually a good fucking idea. It's just so poorly implemented and poorly developed that you there are blatant fucking contradictory things happening at the exact same time.
But son, they had samurais throwing grenades. Have you never seen something like that before?
I've also never seen someone use a shotgun to blow up debris. But that's a thing that literally happens in the new 2013 Tomb Raider reboot.
Before we move to the next person, my favorite highlight was overpowering an ancient samurai zombie with a grenade launcher. Thank you, Square Enix. You know me so well.
Now stop futzing with Avengers and do something different, please.
They're doing
returning after an extended break, our favorite former Star Trek admin and the lovable, wonderful, and ever simped after Lane. Travis, how you doing?
It's been a week. It has been a week. Still getting used to my antidepressants. So there was some pretty rough days in terms of the anxiety and depression, but pushing through. I thought you enjoyed the game, Raina. But other than that, things are going well. I'm having some creative muse start to return, and on a much lighter note, I mean, my cousin doesn't watch this show, but I would like to give a congratulations to my cousin out in Seattle. She has just given birth to a healthy baby girl, and
awesome.
What can I say? We're all happy for her.
Congratulations to her.
Hey, Travis, though, why would you tell us what you were doing before you came on the stream?
Yes.
What's that?
What were you doing before you joined us today?
I was going to say, as much as the week has been a week, it does seem like you found your outlet for it.
Well, I try. I enjoy writing. Just this week, I actually blindly purchased the video game Biomutant, and I started playing that yesterday, and it's actually very fun. But yeah, I'm getting there. Things are, I'm not out of the woods, but getting there.
You and Lane were rodeo and Titans tonight with high scores.
I actually I had some pretty bad games, but I did have some pretty good ones as well. It's been a while since I've done the little Titanfall, so
gotta join you sometime. I really miss that game.
It's a very fun game. I play with Raina now and then.
Sweet. It sounds like we should do a Super Geeks collab.
Heck yeah.
We need to do a Super Geeks gaming run.
I just need to find time. I don't have a lot of it anymore. All right. Next up, the second favorite voice of the stream, Justin.
Oh, I'm a favorite now?
Well, you especially when you're using the modulator.
Well, you're the only one who could keep Carlos in check, Justin. That's why you're a favorite.
Well, I mean, we had to lock him into the dungeon. He was misbehaving with Lane, and we just couldn't have that because Lane's innocent. But it's been pretty good.
Okay, just okay. Step away from that just a little bit. That's a little too close to home for other podcasts.
What are we talking
about?
I'm a little confused too.
That is a very sexual implication upon Lane.
Oh.
And I would like you to just gently step back from that engagement, please. Thank you.
And last but not least, Sunseal, we are all eagerly awaiting to see and hear where you are tonight.
Well, I guess I should show you. I decided that I'd show you guys a bit of the Klingon Civil War story arc for Star Trek Online.
Okay.
Nice.
Of course, I'm going to start with the end of it in the form of a multiplayer mission called a task force operation. So there's that.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, we have played every now and then, haven't we, Dave?
So yeah.
Outstanding. All right. Thank you guys so very much. Glad to hear how everyone's been doing. Let's roll right into our first review of the night. Loki. Sacred Timeline. Justin, throw it up.
Spoilers.
Spooler.
Not that spoiler.
All right. So, did anyone else expect the Sacred Timeline to not last after the second episode?
That was quite the ballsy move that they did.
Yeah.
It's so Star Trek, though.
I was expecting something with them time reset bombs, but I was not expecting immediately this is what we're going to do with it. That's insanity.
Multiverse of madness, if you will.
I was expecting the end of the series to be the fracturing of the Sacred Timeline, not seeing it in episode 2.
Right?
Do we ever figure out how many episodes we're getting of the season?
The earlier they establish it, though, the more that they can set all of the little pieces in places for Doctor Strange.
Well, it kind of felt like people were like, "Oh man, this show doesn't really feel like there's a lot of stakes." Episode 2, oh, we'll show you stakes.
Hold my beer.
I mean, they spent all of episode 1 as introducing and establishing the TVA as this implacable, unstoppable force of nature that's been around for all time, more or less. And then
in episode 2, they win Umbrella Academy.
Yeah. We don't know that the Sacred Timeline is actually destroyed. That's the implication. We see the TVA scrambling to contain it, so they might actually.
Well, did you guys see where the events were occurring? Did you pause it on that map?
I didn't know.
I actually went and paused it and wrote down in their big names where the events are going on.
Let's hear it.
All right. Year 0051, Hala, which is the Kree homeworld.
Oh.
1001, Xandar, where the Nova Corps is. 1382 on Ego, which we know that from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 1982, Titan. 1984, Sakaar, which is where Surtur's from. 2004 in Asgard. And 2301 on Vormir, where the Soul Stone is. Or where the events are occurring. If you actually pause it, that's where they're actually occurring.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yep.
It's been so far the series has largely been set on Earth. So
yeah, if you pause it, and what's weird is these years are actually comic book issues of when these places came into being.
Well,
so these places have been potentially deleted from the timeline, and that's why it's branching?
I don't know if they're going to go like that approach, but if you think about it, most of these places have already been destroyed or inactive. The only one that is still actually technically standing is Vormir. Think about it. Asgard's been destroyed.
Yeah.
Sakaar is implied that it's not active. Titan is eradicated. Ego is gone. Xandar was eradicated.
Hala it wasn't eradicated. It was Thanos only killed half the people.
On Xandar, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the decimation of it, like, what I'm saying is I don't know if this was just a clever Easter egg or if it means something. With Marvel, I never know, so it's one of those things I wrote it down just in case. But yeah, if you guys go back, pause it on the timeline, because it's kind of interesting where they're occurring and what years they're occurring in.
What was the year for Ego?
Ego is 1382.
Oh. Because she's been hiding in Apocalypse to hide to prevent any variance energy to happen. Right. So she likely planted these devices in variance events. Or in apocalypses. She deleted apocalypses.
Well, I mean, all these places have seen wars. Sakaar, Asgard, Titan, Xandar, Hala. Like, these are all places that have seen war. I don't know if there was anything that'd be in Vormir, technically, but I just find it weird that they picked these. There's a lot of Guardians Easter eggs in here.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Like like seriously, it's all Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor. Like that's all these planets. They all have a tie to those universes. The only one that stands alone is Vormir. But even then, we know that that's where Thanos was searching for the Soul Stone. That's where Gamora had found where it was located.
Wonder it'd be funny if like Lady Loki is just like doing like a Biff Tannen thing and just like trying to defeat Thanos before the Avengers do.
You know what?
On the subject of Lady Loki, what do you guys think about her build up and reveal in this episode?
I totally appreciate it. I thought it was really clever to finally just show it to be done. And Loki instinctively knew it was him, but not her, if you will. But I thought it was really well done. I pointed out before we started the show that in the Spanish credits, her name is the character name is listed as she is in the comics, confirming, if you will, that she is in fact Lady Loki. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next episode, since Loki went in and followed her. Either he's going to join her or take her down.
Which is weird, Mr. Kirkley, because in the Portuguese translation, if I remember correctly, someone said that her name is Sylvie, which is the I'm just going to say human name for the Enchantress.
Yeah, that was right. Mm-hmm.
Also,
who knows if that's misdirection or not?
Right.
And also, her name is not Lady Loki; it's Randy. Get it right, guys.
I loved that moment where, so this is why Thor said I was so pretentious.
Yes, that was great.
Loki looking at himself in a mirror and seeing all of his most insufferable habits.
Well,
the whole time he's not listening. Sorry, that whole time he's not listening to her. The whole time he's sitting in his head, like, "Wow, I really am that bad."
Also, Tour de France Loki is a 10 out of 10.
The only thing we have left to see, and I highly doubt Disney will allow Marvel to do it, is Lady Loki turns into a mare and bursts Sleipnir.
No,
Disney will never let that happen.
Well, they changed around Norse mythology a lot for Asgard. Yeah. After all, we know Hela was in mythology as Loki's daughter, so not his sister, and a whole bunch of other different kinds of changes.
I just have to point out just how much my little inner volcanologist loved the whole Pompeii shenanigans.
Yes.
Loki just going to Pompeii like minutes before Vesuvius blows its top and just saying, "You're all gonna die," and just like, throwing releasing goats and throwing pottery around or whatever the hell he was doing was like, I got a little chuckle out of that. I still now the inner volcanologist in me also was like, hey, Pompeii was not destroyed that fast. But I mean, in the same way, that whole scene tickled me.
I love how they do not beat around the bush in this show. They jump right to the point, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're doing this." Yes,
and I kind of like how Mobius is getting figured out by Loki.
And he is just as bad as Loki is.
Yeah. See, Mobius doesn't realize Loki is playing him 6 ways a Sunday. And the way he's like, okay, I know what you're doing, Loki, but then he really doesn't because Loki is dressing him down. Every single time they talk there, he's getting dressed down hard. So Loki's just like, I got you.
I just realized, what a sad existence that is, though. They kind of realize, they're only machines in a greater device. They're kind of irrelevant to the bigger story. They both are. They're like the same coin, different sides of it, I swear. And I love that dynamic between them. Also, I love the fact that he's obsessed with this jet ski from the 90s. That's glorious. Out of anything in time to be obsessed about, a jet ski, that's amazing.
Well, he's not wrong.
It makes me wonder if that was the way the character was written or if that was Owen Wilson.
Might have been Owen Wilson, it seems like.
Wow.
Wow.
Overall, it was a great episode, and addressing how it's starting. WandaVision and Captain Falcon Winter Soldier and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they all started so slow. Loki's like, no, we're going to punch you in the face. It's like Loki escapes. It's like, oh, he got out. 10 minutes into the episode, they capture him, arrested. He's going through processing. And now the second episode is like, oh, we're going to have to wait the whole season. Nope, there's the timeline screwed. There's Lady Loki, and we're jumping into it. It's like, okay, I can appreciate that.
I just really hope that they keep that same pace going because that's something I noticed is even Falcon and the Winter Soldier. People say it started slow. I don't think it did, honestly, because it started out action right off the bat. I think it's just, man, sometimes you'll hit a speed bump hard in these shows. WandaVision was extremely damn slow. And there was moments in Falcon and the Winter Soldier where it was like a speed bump. You're like, oh, just get back to where you were. What happened? I really hope that doesn't happen with Loki. I hope it stays pretty consistent. But I think that's a big reveal. So hopefully they can keep upping the ante a little bit because that's huge. That wasn't something small.
I will say that Falcon and the Winter Soldier probably felt like that because it was far more dramatic than WandaVision and more dramatic than Loki. Both WandaVision and Loki they have a more lighthearted tone, and there's some humor here and there that's giving the show a bit more of a peppy upbeat. Whereas Falcon Winter Soldier, I'm not going to say it didn't have its humorous moments, but it was definitely far more on the heavy hitting. Oh, this is there's some serious shit going on, and not exactly fun time that these characters are going through.
Well,
if that
you've
makes
got
sense.
You've got to remember, WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier were doing this shift thing per episode. WandaVision was shifting like television eras, like the first couple of episodes, and then got serious at the end. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was shifting television genres, and then getting serious at the end. I mean, from the way you guys talk, there was an episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier that was like the Bone Collector movie. And then there was another episode that was like watching Matlock. And it's like, yeah, people are going to think that one of those episodes is slow compared to the other.
All right.
I have no idea what either of those are.
Let's wrap this up with some George theories. I hope you guys got some ready. Justin, go. And maybe
You're muted.
Rapid fire George theories. Let's hear it.
Okay, I do believe we are going to see a complete reality reset, kind of like a Crisis on Infinite Earths, and it's going to be in the DC universe to set up for Doctor Strange, which we all know is going to happen, but this is the event that sets it off.
Raina.
I think this is going to be the Cataclysm event that gives us our cameo of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man.
All right, that's good.
Interesting.
Travis.
I'm not good with theories. You know this. Pass.
Oh, come on. Off the top of your head, say something crazy.
Give us one. Come on.
Lady Loki's trying to beat Thanos there.
Okay. Son.
The map that Raina mentioned and the times and places. My theory is that the sacred timeline isn't the sacred timeline that they thought it was, and that the sacred timeline is actually this event happening, which spurs all the events which has been leading to this point in the first place. Because I understand time travel.
This isn't the sacred timeline you're looking for.
My theoretical physics professor is turning right now.
The event was the creation.
My George theory, Mobius is helping Lady Loki, and Loki is figuring it out.
Oh,
okay, I believe
that's
you.
a good theory.
All right, my George theory. I haven't thought of one. Crazy off the top of my head. Thor. At some point.
Okay.
I really hope that I hope they make like a joke of like Lady Sif messing with the timeline, like that's where she's been the whole time. Like I would really love that. Like, where have you been? Oh, well,
actually, didn't at some point Loki possess Lady Sif?
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah,
that might work. All right, that's that. Crazy episode. Who the hell knows what's coming next? Someone's breathing really heavy.
That's Justin.
No, mine was off. That's not me.
You're the only one who has the microphone in their mouth, Justin.
My microphone was off.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to the next episode. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it a lot. And we've got a lot more to talk about because up next is Bad Batch.
Yes.
Latest episode.
Yes.
Wait a minute. We forgot David Murphy's George theory.
Oh, Timekeepers are the bad guys.
Oh, I mean, good one, Dave.
Okay, I don't call it so much as a theory as it is fact.
Foreshadowing.
I think they kind of are the bad guys.
I mean, who gave them the right to mess with time? I mean,
they did. No, they had the power. They had the rights.
Yeah, but how do we know that they're
Ayn Rand spells it all out.
Yeah, but you know what? With what Dave is saying actually kind of makes sense. You know, they were going on this big whole explanation that nothing slips by the timekeepers and that anything that happens is something they foresee. Did they already foresee this happening?
Like, is that why they're not reacting, you know?
Yeah, because if they could see it coming and they know the beginning, the current, and the future, why couldn't they see this coming where they could preemptively stop it?
Because It's literally what I just said. The
Yeah.
sacred timeline isn't the sacred timeline that they were professing it was. This is literally the event.
Loki is the key. Who is the most common variant that they capture?
Oh.
And it's good if you
How many different? If it's just one sacred timeline, why are there so many different kinds of Loki?
Yeah,
multiverse of madness.
And if you listen to what the one lady told Mobius whenever she was granting him permission to continue to use Loki, she said the Guardians are very interested in Loki in this case.
I thought she said interested in the case. I didn't hear her say Loki specifically.
Case specifically involves Loki, though.
The time,
it's just miswording.
The timekeepers aren't bad guys. They're actually misguided good guys.
Oh God!
Or that.
Also known as bad guys. Anyway,
it was Agatha
Bad
all
Batch.
along.
Yes, let's go on to Bad Batch. I want to talk about Bad Batch.
Oh wait. Who all
right,
saw Agatha in the background right around the start of the episode? They were at the Renaissance Fair. You can see her. She's like, "Some of us need this."
What?
But yeah, it was Agatha from WandaVision was actually
in
the background. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's Agatha. It's always Agatha.
Spoiler warning for Bad Batch.
Bad Batch.
Bad Batch.
Spoilers coming right up.
Spoiler alert. Spoilers for Bad Batch.
Yes.
Crosshair is back. He's bad. He's got a bunch of guys at his back, and our heroes are trapped inside this derelict cruiser. This was a tense episode. Not only did we see the first major fight between former crewmates, they've got
Jesus Christ, Travis, don't pop your rivets.
What?
Don't pop your rivets.
Okay? We've got implications that the Kaminoans are up to even more, and we got the return of a beloved bounty hunter. Travis, you're chomping at the bit. Tell us who it is.
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane is back. All right, guys.
Go for it, Travis. I'm so happy that they brought him back. Like, he was like, if you guys remember, he was one of the characters I was kind of hoping they might bring back. And so seeing him here, I'm so happy that he's finally going to get in some closure, because unfortunately the Clone Wars just kind of dropped him off after
poor Ross.
Well,
Bye,
anyway,
Ross.
Unfortunately, the Clone Wars, after it got canceled the first time, they kind of just dropped him from the show. He never came back in those later episodes. And originally they were going to give him some closure. They were actually, there was footage of Boba Fett and him having a bit of a showdown and Boba Fett taking his life. And so when I saw Cad Bane here and him staring down Hunter, I was actually asking myself, like, oh shit, is this like?
Hold on, sorry, Travis. Justin, let Ralph back in.
I was actually thinking, like, oh shit, like, this is going? Are they replacing Boba Fett with Hunter? Or is this Cad's final stand? And then he gets blasted. Like, Hunter gets blasted, and I was like, oh, like, that was a big oh shit moment for me. And like, seeing, like, just that was such a great reveal, great moment. And like, I'm happy that this show isn't exactly pulling punches when it comes to the safety of our main cast. Like good job. Now, that said, I hope that Boba Fett does not return here. if anyone is going to kill Cad Bane in this series, it better be fucking Wrecker.
He's going to want to kill him for sure, considering he absconded with Omega.
Exactly. Like, my Toru and Jay-Chan brother-sister relationship will persevere, damn it. And, Wrecker got to do it. He got to do it.
So I only have one question here. This bounty hunter, was he? Did he adopt the darkness, or was he born in it?
Darkness within darkness awaits you, Sunseal.
It's Space McCree.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's Space McCree with a Bane mask.
Kinda.
Yeah.
All right. Raina, you have something to say? Go for it.
I was actually one of the small details that got completely overlooked that I really appreciated. If you guys remember in the last few episodes when we've seen the clones, they were still rocking clone trooper attire, even though they were now Empire material. Now we got the Stormtrooper revealed, man. They're all wearing Stormtrooper armor, and it was kind of like a small touch that went underappreciated. It was kind of nice to see that conversion. And also, I kind of like the dialogue about Omega asking about the war. And they have such typical soldier responses. Well, it was like a war, It was kind of uninteresting, and it just really hit home just how innocent she is and how unmarked by this stuff that she is, that more and more she's having to face things that no kid should have to go through. And you know what? I know that everyone's excited for Cad Bane, but damn it, there were so many Fallen Order references these last few episodes. And when I saw all those damn Stormtroopers down, I was like, please tell me Cal Kestis review. Please make it a reveal already, please. And it was like, oh, it's Cad Bane. Yay. I'm excited, but it's just like, why do you keep teasing me, Disney? They're on Braca. It was a good episode. And honestly, the best part of it for me was the whole thing with Crosshair, outsmarting them at every point. It wasn't until the end that they, got the upper hand. And it was so crazy to watch them battle wits and, just him just figuring them out every time. I really loved it. This episode was great.
I thought there for a minute we were going to see Crosshair turn after he got whacked his head.
Yeah.
A few times. Yeah, I'm thinking, can we
foreshadowing.
See,
Foreshadowing.
Yeah,
all
maybe.
These to the head seem to do the trick.
George Terry, that's going to be the cause of it, was knocking his head. But he's going to turn all Vader because he got burned in the face.
I know that he has kind of plot armor, but I was really worried that Hunter was going to bite the dust. I kind of like the POV from his helmet too. Yeah. That was a really cool scene. When they were dragging him out of the firefight. I thought that was a really clever artistic decision. I really liked it. It was pretty good.
Well, that was the armor that they had before it turned into stuff that kills you in one hit.
When the Empire was trying to save money,
they used paper armor.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the helmets were still the Revenge of the Sith clone helmets.
Yeah.
The armor was all Stormtrooper armor, but the helmets were still clone trooper helmets.
Yeah, the helmets were still pretty clone trooper-esque.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I may have just overlooked.
That's what I thought.
Also,
they were already very similar to what would eventually become Stormtrooper helmets. The gradual change in design was there.
I also
at the beginning of that. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I absolutely also loved how Omega straight up downed two people with her laser bow. That is such a cool weapon, and seeing her just straight up get two troopers with it was just 2 thumbs up from me right there. Yes.
My friend Brooke is losing his mind over it like Sun did a couple episodes ago. like, how does this even work? How does this even function? I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to just pay Ross to explain this every time this happens now.
It's Star
Who
Wars.
else kind of had a giddy giggle when Wrecker nailed that Death Trooper with the torpedo?
That was good.
That was so good.
Yes.
Also, I was kind of sad that he wasn't able to get it though. Take it with him.
No.
You know what? I still think the payoff was great. Who needs it as an actual projectile when you're just gonna just yeet it right at the opponent? Like, I honestly thought that it was great that they had the Wilhelm scream too when he kicked the one trooper right off the side of the ship. Such a nice addition. I love this show. This show tickles all my Star Wars nerdom in one go, and I love it.
Another random thing I absolutely love, like this has been kind of established by this point now. One of the cool things, just the small things that I really like what they've done with Wrecker is that I love how they've given him the fear of heights. Like seeing him, like, you know, always getting this like sense of vertigo when he's at an edge and just like, oh, I can't go down that way, or you guys just go ahead, or, you know, like I'm gonna stick behind. Like seeing him like have an actual like weakness in this area, as you know, subtle as it is, or not subtle, like as, you know, trivial as it is, I feel like gives him like so much personality. Like each of these troopers has their strengths, but they're also showing that they have their weaknesses as well. And that was something that the Clone Wars kind of overlooked. Like, I can't exactly say that Rex has a distinct, like, defining trait until, you know, further on in the show. A lot of these troopers are, you know, blank slate clones. They are programmed to fight, and they might develop a personality, you know, like amongst one another. But in the show, like, I mean, they're just, you know, they're just troops.
You know, yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, Travis, to your point, I was actually just saying this to Brooke because we were just having a big conversation because he's a big Star Wars nerd. I was saying that I really like that with Wrecker's fear of heights. You know, Hunter still being very conflicted about Crosshair and like really like, can I bring him back? Because you could tell that there's like a deep bond there of brotherhood. Mm-hmm. You know, Tech has a lot of like really humorous moments, like cheeky, like snarky moments because he's so smart. But that's what I'm saying. Like when we see the clones during the Clone Wars, they're so dehumanized. Like they are just one in an assembly line. But I really like that they feel like people here. Like it's a very rare look that we get where they have fears. They have issues that they're dealing with. They have moral conflicts without that chip, you know? So it's kind of like, I think they do a really good job making them feel like human beings more than anything. Like it really does. You're humanizing characters and allowing them to step away from that assembly line stereotype that they're so often given.
Well, see, that's the other thing. If that happens in Clone Wars, that's actually a downgrade of the clone troopers from Revenge of the Sith. Because even in Revenge of the Sith, you had the commander units of the troopers who seemed to have a kind of personality of their own when interacting with the Jedi. Because there was the commander that was helping Yoda escape, who had his own personality. There was the guy who was working with Kenobi.
Commander Cody.
And he seemed to have his own personality as well.
And in the Clone Wars, we did have Rex 5s and several other clone troopers who were very well developed on their own.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, in terms of, like, they have developmental, like chemistry towards war, but to see elements outside of the war aspect is kind of interesting.
Well, I think there's this theory in psychology and different other, you know, like philosophies, that having the exact same person going through the exact same thing, like all the clone troopers on Kamino, just because they are different beings, even though they're all the same, they will all eventually develop different personalities. And you've seen that across the board, like constantly in all of this. Like you've got Commander Cody, and you've got the guy who is helping Yoda escape. The guy from the Clone Wars. The guy from the Clone Wars with Rex, and now you've got these clones. The Bad Batch themselves. They've all had their own personality, even in the war, and now you're getting to see the human side of that personality outside of war.
But I think that's what makes it stand out, though. Because it's the moments that they're not in conflict that they are almost more defining than they are in battle.
It points out or makes more clear the tragedy and the horror of the fact that basically these clone troopers were all put into a grinder at the end of the fucking war.
Yeah. And even with the Empire, they're under a different banner. Same routine.
Because at this point, I don't see anything else than that after the troopers teach the initial officers of stormtroopers. I don't see anything else but them just being mass murdered. And this is literally a collection of individual peoples.
Yeah.
Whose will and personalities have been suppressed and subverted by the control chips.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically just flesh droids now.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's not going to take very long for that mental state, that internal voice screaming to get out before some of these clones start to become unstable.
Yeah. And not to mention how many in the terms of the series that we have misfires with the inhibitor chips anyways.
5 was one.
Yeah, there was quite a few in the novels as well. The inhibitor chips are not perfect.
Yep.
And sometimes, I think that it really is kind of a big parallel. Like, honestly, I even felt that with Falcon and the Winter Soldier with John Walker. Like, that's what it feels very much. You train these people up, you build them up, and then when things go sideways, they're just so easily disposed of. It's kind of heartbreaking if you think about it in total. It's just. But I think Bad Batch does a really good job of making this feel less like a unit and more like a family. Like this is like a brotherhood between these guys, and I think that really, really shines well in this show. And I hope, I was in the minority, I was saying, one season is enough, but I think I'm finally joining Greg and Travis on this. They need multiple seasons. I want to see it through.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you there. I really, really hope this becomes Clone Wars or something like that, and they just continue to run the hell out of this. It's not like it's one-off, because this could be a good storyline for them to let play out. Watch Omega grow and watch the team grow together. It'd be kind of nice to watch this type of dynamic that's not, a normal Star Wars story.
So we're talking about the Kaminoan clones and all that kind of stuff. Can we talk about the one Jedi that actually deserved to die? That fucking librarian who literally goes to when Kenobi won. When Kenobi literally goes to her and he's like, look, there should be a star system here, and he starts explaining it, and she literally has the snarky ass comeback. Look, this is my library. If it's not in the chart, it doesn't exist.
She has no reason to disbelieve that. Who has the audacity to walk into the Jedi archive and delete something?
Obi-Wan
Kenobi. Look, I can't. And see, here's the thing: I can't hold Kenobi any higher either, because he only looked at the Jedi archive. If he went to the Coruscant archives on maps and shit, he actually might have found it. Who the hell knows?
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have gotten the cafe scene.
He literally had to go to a fucking diner for some cook to go, oh, this. When I was a smuggler, these Kaminoans, they cloned things.
Depends how big your pocketbook is.
You know what? Son's pulling out. I hate librarians. They're coarse and they get everywhere.
No, see, that's the thing. I love libraries, and I love most librarians. One of my first jobs was in a library. But like, holy shit, there's some mean ass librarians, and of all the Jedi, that lady deserved to fucking die.
She probably got killed in the assault on the temple. So
there's a George theory about her that she's the one who saved Grogu.
Actually, like there's actually in the Revenge of the Sith video game, there's a level you can play as Anakin Skywalker where he, enters the temple and begins his massacre. And the level starts with a cutscene of him going into the archive and demanding entrance to the beacon that they set off for they set off in the temple. And she denies him, and he just like force lifts her and impales her with his lightsaber right then and there. It's actually it's a very fun level. But
you know what? With how much the council stepped on Anakin, just something tickles me about an old woman holding a lightsaber telling Anakin, "You're not getting in the archive." I said, "Good day, sir. Good day."
if I may touching back on the whole the show going multiple seasons, like the Brotherhood and all that, this show could go a few seasons as long as they don't run the risk of it turning into basically the Mandalorian +6. Because like I said, there were the first two episodes after the first one were very, very Mandalorian-esque, if you will. So, and these last, granted, I didn't see this week's episode, but
I don't know why you guys are comparing it to the Mandalorian.
Greg always finds a way to compare every Star Wars property to the Mandalorian. You don't need more Grogu.
No, the two episodes 2 and 3 were very Mandalorian, but they got on a great track. 4, 5, 6 now, but they run the risk of it turning into the Mandalorian. They have a small child. They're running around. They can't sit in one place. To
be fair, Mr. Kirkley, they are clones of a Mandalorian.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Omega is a million times more interesting than Grogu will ever be.
Show me a Star Wars that didn't include a child as a centerpiece at some point.
That's pod racing for you.
Simba? Suspicious.
Episode 4, New Hope.
Luke Skywalker was a child.
He was an adolescent.
Thank you, Greg.
He was a whiny child.
A whiny adolescent.
He was Wesley Crusher in the Star Wars
He was still more mature than Anakin ever was through his entire life.
You know the sad thing is you're kind of right, Ross. Which actually is the best part about the holiday special. The little child Wookiee.
No.
Is Sean watching this? Is Sean jumping up and down right now?
You almost had me.
Sean's watching this right now, jumping up and down, laughing giddy.
See, I almost had you, Travis, but I was trying to get Ross. And I got Ross.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Standout moments and final thoughts. Justin.
You're
muted.
Can't hear ya.
Your mic.
You're muted.
Your mic is off.
There you go. There we go. I was trying to figure out what button to have it shut off on. Well, like I said, this episode was great. I'm hoping, they don't drag the getting the Omega back arc too long. But this is Star Wars, so it's liable to last either one episode or the rest of the season. But with it being kid-centric, they'll probably get hurt back, and the bounty hunter will be beaten alive by Wrecker. If not, yeah. Could we see Crosshair turn?
I hope not.
I think they kind of hinted at a possibility with him getting smacked in the head in this episode, but he's going to be all Vader-ish, probably, because if you saw at the end of the episode, his face was all bandaged up. He had a respirator on. He had the Vader type of voice.
Well, yeah, he took an ion engine blast to the face.
Yeah, so, that can't be good.
Not the most healthy thing, I imagine, no.
No, probably not. It's probably going to do a lot of damage. So if he's not in some type of a suit, that I would be surprised. Because it's Star Wars. They love to mechanize their people, apparently.
Well, yeah, they already got tech, so I don't think it'll be that bad.
Yeah. It could probably
Thank
be.
you.
But all right, well, yeah, that's it for me. But yeah, I can't wait for the next one. I'm hoping they don't drag the Omega story out too long. We'll have to see on how this plays out.
All right, Travis.
I mean, standout moment, of course, for me is Cad Bane. I mean, look, what can I say? I get giddy when there's callbacks and potential closure for things that didn't get solved in the Clone Wars, and seeing this on the table now, I'm very happy, and it makes me very ecstatic for potential appearances of other Clone Wars characters or legacy characters that deserve a little spotlight. I'm still hoping for Ventress. I mean, I don't know if it'll happen, but I'm fingers crossed. And yeah, it was just I'm happy. I'm very happy with this show right now, and I want an ice cream sandwich. I'm gonna
if I may, Travis, will you be satisfied with Cad Bane if Wrecker destroys him? Would you be satisfied with that send off for him?
Yeah, if Wrecker destroys Cad Bane, I'd be very satisfied.
You'd be very satisfied if Wrecker and Mandalorian meet and they run off and create a vast empire together.
I do not have an ice cream sandwich, but would you take a Klondike bar?
Yes, I would, but I'm going to go
what
get
would you
an
do
ice
for a
cream
Klondike
sandwich.
bar?
Hold my breath for 4 minutes, which I've done. I'm going to go get an ice cream sandwich. I'll be right back.
Would you like a cookie
Reyna, go.
I'm with Justin on this. I hope that they don't extend the arc out too much of saving Omega. I don't want this to go 4 or 5 episodes, maybe 2 more at most. I don't. As far as cameos go, though, I want to see Inquisitors, honestly. That's something I want to see. I want to see if they're going to add a couple more Jedi, have them kind of learn from them on the run. Nothing long term, but I wouldn't mind even an Ahsoka cameo. Give me Cal Kestis. You keep hinting at it, Disney. I know you're listening, but it's they need to start. This is where we need to hit the gas. If we're gonna start going against the Empire now in this regard, this is where it needs to start accelerating a bit, because they're literally going to have to go to Kamino, which is going to be a minor Death Star right now to them. They have no friends there really left at all. So I'm kind of curious to see where they're going to go with this. But Inquisitors, I hope. And you know what? Even a Vader cameo, I'd be down for that.
If I just one real quick thing, I would like to see them go back and revisit if they find.
So go ahead.
I haven't seen it, but the one thing I would like to see touched on, all the cameos would be great. Sure, Asajj, the Inquisitors would make sense in this case. If they go back and try to find Caleb, they just completely blew it off with how close they were with him. You think that Hunter and them would want to go back and find him to try to help him. And granted, yeah, the planet's a hot spot because Order 66 blew him away. But that's kind of my thing. Omega was kind of the not cheap version, but Omega was hey, we replaced a kid character already. They have one. I just want to see him go back and revisit Caleb if they bring that back on.
If, like, I'd be open to that. I'd be open to that, but it would also, like, if they do that, they'd have to be very careful, I feel, because like it is established that he has a very deep distrust for clone troopers. And I mean, it took Ahsoka saying you need to trust these guys before he even realized that they were looking for clones in Rebels when Rex made his first appearance there.
And I think Omega would help them with that. And if they go back and look for Caleb, Omega is their chip to be like, hey, they have changed. They're not these clone troopers.
Hey, can I just propose that? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ross.
The fact that they're so different from standard clones might help too. So that distrust of the regs would still be there, but he would trust them individually. Go ahead, Raina.
I was going to say I'd like to propose a conspiracy theory right now that I don't know if it's going to be prediction territory, but I'm going to say that blow to the head is going to start messing with Crosshair's inhibitor chick. No. And I think that he is going to come to his senses and try to help Omega out of Kamino, and he's going to get killed in the process.
We need a good villain, and Crosshair is that villain.
No, I totally get that. I'm not saying otherwise.
Star Wars, what they kill him and reclone him?
No, or you know what? Even have him not die, but just have him help her get out, and that chip finally just like him sacrificing himself so she can go, but at the same time, there's no path to redemption right there anymore.
I don't know. Like, it's still too early.
I still think that that Crosshair makes a better villain than a redeemed character so far. It's still too early in the series, I think, for him to be fully redeemed. And I have a sneaking suspicion that he is going to choose the Empire over the Bad Batch because of the power, the authority, and
honestly, the paycheck.
Yeah.
Give me the money.
Even before the inhibitor chick kicked in, he's pretty cold and ruthless. I think the Empire suits him more than the others. As for conspiracy theories, I think as soon as the Kaminoans get Omega back, they're going full force into whatever their scheme is. Their new and improved clone, the product that they are giving to the Empire to show them, hey, we can still give you stuff that you need, even if you conscript soldiers. We can give you elites that will take many, many more years to train and are much more expensive to maintain than a clone would be. And Omega is the linchpin in that.
And you know what? Actually, my friend Brooke just sent me a text and was like, I'm trying to comment on the stream. It's not working. His theory is that they're going to try and make Force user clones out of Omega.
That's common, but we'll see.
I really hope that they don't make her a Force user. I really don't. I'm so sick of that, man. It's just
very common in Legends.
They keep doing that. Like a character just gets out of a bad situation because suddenly they realize they're with the Force. Like, come on, enough. Give them a reason.
Like I said last week, though, if Omega turns out to just like happen to be
like experimenting with the idea of oh shit, did I lose you?
What?
Oh wait, no, I'm here. No. I wouldn't mind them, experimenting with the concept of her being Force sensitive. That does I'm not hoping
you damn Grogu fans.
No, I'm not talking about that. Like I don't want her to be like I think a really cool idea is that she is sensitive with the Force but doesn't know it's the Force.
Right.
Like, I think that would be really cool, like having a character who might be able to do limited things, not like take away your telekinesis and your mind tricks. I mean, like, just little bits and pieces of, like, subtle things that might give them just a little bit of an edge, but don't exactly turn the field of battle, if that makes sense. And
so Anakin in Phantom Menace.
What's that?
Anakin in Phantom Menace. the Force enabled him to be a pod racer and a fighter pilot.
Something along those lines, I guess. I think that like touching this kind of area.
Travis, Greg's been trying to speak for a few minutes. Let's give him a turn.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, Travis. Just just to touch on this point, it would be her being Force sensitive, like Donnie Yen's character in Rogue One, chew it, something like that. Not the whole mantra, the Force is with me, but knowing the Force is there to help you, but then not sit there and have her raise her hand and blow a fighter out of the sky, but to sit there and be like, hey, something's here to help me. I know what, I have this feeling.
Yeah, but it's tiring. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, even with Rogue One, the story it was trying to tell, there was absolutely no reason for the Force to be involved at all. None. Zero. And they still found a way to include it. This is where it's like getting really tiresome with that. Like, if you're going to have Inquisitors, like, at least have some reason that's going to be justifiable with the Force. Like, having the Inquisitors spawning in, like a complete switch to light to dark, like, that would make sense that the impacted changes in the galaxy, the shift, would result in something. But it's just so tiring that they keep crutching on it so hard. And Omega's interesting enough that she's developing skills that make her an interesting character. She's learning things that are like literal war techniques. She doesn't need the Force. It doesn't need to be senses. It doesn't need to be anything. It's so tiring. And I hate to say it, but that would be enough. Like where I realize they're gonna go in the cliche territory that I may actually check out.
Well, all right, these are great discussions, but we've still got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. So let's roll on.
I didn't get my crazy stuff in.
Go for it, son.
Okay, so I have two. I'm going to give you the funny first, and then the horrifying second. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
This prediction. So I'm waiting for the moment that they're on some kind of highfalutin world. One of those rich core worlds. And they just happen to be in like a club and a firefight breaks out. And then all of a sudden the cameo we get is of someone who's never been in Star Wars whatsoever, as one of the bar patrons turns around to a dead guy being on the ground and goes, "Oh my."
I'm going to get my ice cream sandwich.
That counts as a stop it.
All right.
Okay, so here's the horrifying one.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So, Raina, you just went on this thing about making her Force sensitive. And the thought crossed my mind. And you're probably going to hate me for this, Mr. Bentley. But what if at the end of all of this, even if, they never really protect Omega in the end. The new Empire suspects she's Force sensitive.
Ooh.
And it's not until they basically vivisect her, which is basically dissecting her while alive, that they find out that she's not, and she winds up as one of those desiccated corpses in Esposito's tank vat in Mandalorian.
I don't think it'll go that dark.
What is the kid? What's the kid say?
So dark.
I did say horrifying.
Yeah.
You played too much Resident Evil there, son.
This is your nightmare fuel moment with the SuperGeeks.
That's literally what happened in The Mandalorian. There were all those just dissected body parts of people in those vats.
You can't dissect a kid, though. Like, no.
Well, like that's what it's
That's what makes the villain. Unspeakable evil.
I don't know. I'm kind of digging Son's theory.
Yeah, I'm Greg. I actually like your Grogu stuff better.
All right, let's move away from Star Wars and roll into Star Trek. We got two big bits of news this week. The first, on Captain Picard Day, we got the trailer, the actual trailer, not an obscure teaser of Star Trek Picard, and revealed, as you see on screen, the reintroduction of fan favorites, Silver Fox Q.
Yes. Oh my God.
Let's hear our thoughts. Greg, you're the most enthusiastic of us. Let's hear it.
I am so stoked for John Delancey's return. Oh my god. My favorite antagonist in Star Trek history by far. The trailer playing, he's looking for Neris. It's like, okay. The second he goes, quite a problem, Jean-Luc. I'm like, oh my god, my girlfriend got so giddy when he says, Mon Capitan, how I've missed you. She was white knuckling, excited just to see John Delancey back. I absolutely, the premise so far from the trailer, I kind of dig it. Okay, I've seen the comments, all good things, Tapestry. It's gonna be interesting to see how they play it. I am by far and away looking forward to this. It's all 2022. I'm like, I hate you. It should have been this year. But the second thing that got me in this trailer was John Delancey, the road not taking us that cool. And then 7, 2 things caught me with 7. Waking up, no Borg implant, and a ring on her finger. So she's married, and she's no longer a Borg. So it's like, how messed up is this timeline? When, where are they? As only Q can do. Or
she was never a Borg in the first place.
Or as Q would put this, Picard is causing this, and he's going to give him the bump to help him figure it out.
All right, Justin, let's hear your thoughts.
Well, we all thought maybe that we are going to get a All Good Things for Tapestry type season before we even knew Q was involved. Just because we were thinking of that maybe at the end of the season afterwards. What would have been the next logical step? Well, Picard's going to have to find himself again. What better way for Picard to find himself in a universe-spanning multiverse event that's going to destroy all realities? That going to rival the Time War. This is going to be an epic conclusion because it's supposed to be. I guess I don't know if they're doing a 2-season arc of this or.
I think they are. The only reason I think they are is just because Delancey is doing 2 and 3. He's in seasons 2 and 3.
He's already said he's doing 2 and 3. He did it on a camo video. I think I linked it in the chat a while back. But yeah, it's huge. The trailer, one of guys who's on hiatus, Jason, he had it down to a pack with time travel because it looks like we're definitely getting time travel. Not only time travel, we're getting multiverse travel. So we're getting All Good Things Tapestry and that one episode, like whatever it was, where Worf jumped realities.
Oh, that was just a quantum. That was something quantum related. That was
parallels.
Parallels.
Yeah, we're getting all that combined in some nice, neat little package, and it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. Because I'm hoping it's because they wanted to make, if I remember correctly, All Good Things better than what they did, but they had restraints because of time, money, whatever the reason was that they're
going to bring back
documentary.
They're going to bring back Travis's favorite ship. They're going to bring back the 3-nacelle Enterprise for a flashback.
Yes, Son, what did you think of the trailer?
Captain.
What was that?
What did you think of the trailer, Son?
So one of the first things I noticed in all of this was the badge that shows up. And I think there's a picture that you have of it, Justin. And the only thing I thought of in all of this was the way Q talks about this being the road not traveled or something along those lines makes me think that this is this shift that's going to happen, whether Picard causes it or Q causes it, is going to be a prime timeline Terran Empire kind of thing. Because it feels that badge feels kind of Terran Empire-ish, and it was really weird. It's just a really weird thing. That whole badge, that with the red and the sword star looking design, it feels like Terran Empire something or other, without being Terran Empire.
Wasn't she a member? Sorry, son. Wasn't she a member of like some Ranger thing? Isn't that their badge, or did we already see that?
Fenris Rangers.
Fenris Rangers. Thank you.
I don't remember if we saw that badge or not.
Throw the badge up again, Justin. Now, I've seen a couple analysis of it and a few speculation. That it's an interesting change to the Starfleet Delta. This one is symmetrical instead of offset like we usually see it.
Mm-hmm.
That bar does make it look over the recess does make it look like a sword hilt, but I've seen some speculation that it might be a rank indicator that stacks, kind of like what we saw in
Future
in Parallels. Yeah, and Parallels. They reused that badge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this could be when Rios was an ensign when his captain was killed. He could be maybe reliving that.
And that the badge 7 of 9 had, Justin, if you could put it up again. The analysis that I saw broke it down. That looks a lot like the stars in the Federation emblem, but we see 8 dots there in the middle. That could be a badge indicating the Sol system.
So wait a minute. Okay, so I think I need to explain this. It's the one on the right that gives me Terran Empire vibes.
Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah.
Now the one that's like the actual Federation, the Delta badge. That gives me early Christianity vibes.
Ooh,
because it's an upside down cross, and one of the apostles was crucified upside down, and that became a symbol for quite a long time. And when we've been discussing this, and even without the trailer, we've been discussing this about time travel and all this kind of stuff. Having the trailer now, and then that poster you put on the Trello, Justin.
I didn't.
I did that.
Oh, well, the poster that's on the Trello is a Delta in like LA traffic.
Yeah, it's the LA skyline. It's circa 2021.
And that's like, I'm looking at all this stuff and I'm going, the time travel in this seems completely inconsistent. It seems more along the line, like Kirkley said, it seems more along the lines of a All Good Things, where Picard kept jumping timelines, right?
Yeah.
But this looks like that looks like a timeline where Picard shouldn't even be alive at this point. Because that literally gives me Future's End vibes. You know, the Voyager episode with Sarah Silverman.
That was fun.
You know, another thing that badge kind of reminded me of was one of the novels dealt with an alternate timeline where Dominion ruled the Alpha Quadrant, and it was a Picard timeline where they built this new Enterprise and they had to reset the whole thing. It's one of the Deep Space Nine books. You'll have to check it out.
Well, we were discussing the trailer's release in our group chat, and I said that the way that all of this trailer is put together, it seems like this is leading to like a Federation civil war. Yeah. You have like a religious faction and then like a Terran Empire like faction, and you would literally have them going at each other in a completely separate timeline. And hold on here, because this is going to be the oh hell no groan George moment.
Let's hear it.
This seems like the setup for the events that take place for a Federation civil war that leads us to the point where Calypso happens.
Not the worst I've heard.
Because it seems like the guy who's in Calypso seems like he was part of a Federation and fighting the other side of that same Federation.
But then how does that explain how would that explain Discovery being there? Isn't Calypso like 100 years before Discovery is now?
Don't.
It's time travel, Kirkley. The more you think about it, the more you're going to get a headache.
And
Let's change our questions up a little bit. What is the road not traveled, Travis?
Taken.
Road not taken.
The road not taken is him, not getting stabbed by
that
Nausicaan. But
he already discovered that.
I mean,
yeah,
it's a joke. Laugh at my dumb jokes.
I'm
funny, right?
That's funny, haha.
Hilarious.
Freaking, I don't. When we're speculating on the road not taken, I don't like really speculating on this because I don't want to develop expectations or like my own headcanon, like, oh, if they don't go this way, it's gonna be ruined. And I mean, Picard is kind of under the microscope for me enough as it is because of the three Star Trek shows we have right now, it's the one that I'm probably the most critical of. And even after this trailer, I am still very much holding it to scrutiny in the I'm really hoping that they don't just do away with the fact that I want them to explore the what effects that Picard's new lifestyle might have on him. If they just completely ignore that and just do a story based on time travel, which I'm sure will be entertaining, but I mean I would I'm hoping that they do just a bit more in terms of the development with that, because I mean, if they just don't, it's going to be a Voyager reset button, and I don't want that show. I don't want that kind of thing in this show. I don't know. Ramble over.
Greg, what's your idea of the road not taken?
It's hard to say. I keep thinking back to if he's talking the way I think he's talking, is like, hey, this is your life if you hadn't gotten stabbed, but we had it in Tapestry. My guess might be it could be like, hey, this would have happened had you died on the planet with the synths on it. If he had died there with his brain aneurysm that he had, this could be, hey, this is where it would happen had you not died. But then that doesn't explain Seven's lack of Borg implants and all that. So knowing Q, it's a damn riddle, and I think that the time travel thing is, I would love it to harken back to All Good Things, where Q is sitting there not charting nebula or studying gases, it's charting the unknown possibilities of existence for that fraction of a second, as he put it. So the road not taken could be many things. It could be when he died on the planet with the synths. It could be revisiting Tapestry, him not getting stabbed in the chest. It could be any number of things, or it could be Q causing the problem, and it's like, hey, you're gonna help me fix it.
Or Junior.
Junior. Here is what I think. This is a theory that I've seen online a couple times, and I think it presents a very interesting, contrasting story. Starfleet that never encountered the Borg.
Ooh,
I heard that one, yeah.
Because who introduced Starfleet to the Borg? Who introduced Picard to the Borg?
And Guinan is in this season, so it very well could be, since she's not affected by time travel per se, or the effects of the timeline as we've seen her species, that could make sense. Because she's like, she did say in Q Who, he brought your meeting with the Borg much sooner than it should have happened.
Raina, how about you?
I have still got 20 years of Star Trek to catch up on, so
yeah.
But anytime I hear the name Q, it's like, dude, I'm totally in. I've got to finish Next Generation so I can start getting caught up on everything. I don't know why I'm slacking. It's probably because I'm spending all my time gaming, but I need to do this because the way I hear you guys talk about it sounds fantastic.
Well, we definitely need to hear an update about your binging sometime soon. Let's set some time next week to get a recap.
Okay, I'm on it.
Justin, have we talked to you about this yet?
No.
Okay, go for it.
Road not taken. I've heard that there might be a possibility that Cisco could be involved in this. A few online theories that
So that's a growing moment.
Well, I mean that Cisco is involved in this in some form or fashion.
Let's be honest. If you're the did not encounter the Borg thing, you know, Cisco not being the commander of Deep Space Nine is a thing that would happen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that decides
the universe create changing consequences.
The Dominion wins the war in that case because
if there's a Dominion war at all.
Exactly. Like there's no wormhole essentially. Then if Cisco doesn't take command of DS9,
or the Federation joins up with the Dominion, not knowing how bad they really are.
Or the wormhole goes undiscovered for how many years because Bajor descends into civil war.
Yes. If I may, the one a lot of these I haven't seen because I have seen the Cisco ones. This would be a perfect time to bring Janeway back into it.
See, I had a theory last time we talked about Picard was that because Janeway did not go, has not went back and saved Voyager, all the time is broke.
Well, she did that in an alternate timeline, not this
right?
one.
But she would still have to go and do it in this timeline in
no,
order
she
to
wouldn't.
reset it.
No, she wouldn't.
She died. So like she was part of the.
This is not a boot. What she did was not a bootstrap paradox
that we know of.
It's not a bootstrap paradox. It was literally an entire alternate timeline.
If she made it home early in Voyager, she has no reason to go into the future to bring Voyager home early.
Right. She completely changed the timeline. So yeah, she would have no reason to go back and save them.
Yeah, but what if one of the Janeway's
paradox?
Yeah.
It was an alternate timeline.
Star Trek did with alternate timelines.
Exactly. That's why it could wind up being Janeway or any number of Star Trek characters.
I could see them bringing back Janeway into this just because if it is the road not taken, and for some weird reason she has this crazy theory, it would make sense to bring her because one of the things we do see that we haven't touched on, Picard, the second shot we see of Picard, full Admiralty uniform in front of Starfleet. So did he go? Did he become unretired like Riker? Did he go back?
Raffi's back in uniform as well.
Road not taken. He didn't resign. He stuck to his guns and stood up to the council.
You guys are missing the biggest thing ever. Can I tell you?
Well, if I can finish mine, it would be nice.
Please do it.
Oh, okay, Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been trying to finish mine. You know, one time, but yeah, I mean, it's
sorry, Justin.
Yeah. I lost my damn train of thought. Look, that's actually a really good theory because what better way to jump the story for it now? I'm completely lost. Go ahead. Next.
You guys are missing something that was blatantly done in the trailer. The road not taken is that someone won against the Romulans. Someone won against the Romulans and obliterated the Romulans, because the first scene of that trailer is Picard looking for Loris or whatever her name is.
Nurse.
And she's not there. And then Q shows up and says, my, what a mess you've gotten yourself into this time, Mon Capitan.
Or maybe instead of Romulus being defeated, the star never went supernova.
It can't be that.
Why not?
Because we're still talking about a timeline where 7 of 9 doesn't have Borg implants.
A lot of things can happen.
Because we really don't know if the Romulan star going supernova was a natural event,
going
or
supernova is post 7 of 9's abduction.
Yes.
Okay, but we know road not taken. We see Picard in an Applebee's uniform, looking very, I don't know what's it word, emotionless.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his poker face on.
He looks very emotionless. We see Rafferty.
Look,
apparently he never resigned.
If there are no Romulans to have to deal with, what's the point in him having to resign ever?
And he was wearing Fleet Admiral insignia.
Well, that would have been
Commander-in-Chief of Starfleet.
So that means he off Clancy and took her position.
Remember all the Borg shit that happened before we met the Borg happened along the neutral zone between the Romulans and the Federation.
Right.
So, and the big implication we got out of season 1 is that the Romulans had been dealing with the Borg since even before shit like this. Like, it's not even that they captured a Borg cube or the Borg cube was disabled in their space. The way that they go on talking about the Borg, they're just the Romulans talk about the Borg, is like that they were dealing with the Borg before all of the incidents with the missing colonies.
Didn't Lower Decks touch on this? Didn't the Cerritos fly out of a situation where the warbirds were attacking a cube?
That's right.
One android did, yes.
So it's very likely that's the cube they commandeered.
Right.
Yeah,
and I know this is beta canon. So don't hold this as truth in any respect. But in Star Trek Online, we see an instance in which the Borg are introduced in a separate timeline through Romulus. That's where they have a gateway, is through Romulus.
They simulated Romulus.
Now, here's again, this is part of me being on a wild theory and tangent here. Cryptic has been working closer and closer and closer with CBS since CBS and Paramount merged. And it makes me think that they're going to make the Romulans responsible for the Borg showing up in the first place. Not our introduction to the Borg, but the Borg being and meddling in the Alpha and Beta Quadrant.
It could that could be a possible one, because if we look at least a couple maps I've seen that, because there's no official canon map, Romulan space is closer to the Delta Quadrant than the Federation is by a couple thousand light years.
I would think that's the way it is on the Star Trek Online map.
So if you remove the Romulans from the equation, you may never wind up with the Borg in the first place. You may not have colonies that wind up being stolen from the Romulan and Federation sides of the border. I mean, you might still have Q literally throw Picard at the Borg and then save him, but there's still no end for them to find the Federation in the first place.
And the Narada was a mining ship that was enhanced with Borg technology.
Well, what if
at a facility that the Romulans had a captured Borg ship that they were using to develop all sorts of crazy weapons?
Sadly, again, that's considered beta canon.
It's beta canon, yes.
What if, we touched based on that one, what if the Enterprise was never met the Borg at all?
That's what I said, Justin.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, my God, the implications of that alone, they would never advance their fleet. We would never have gotten Voyager. Because Voyager was a product of the advanced research in the more tech. We would never gotten to Defiant. So there goes half of Deep Space Nine. Cisco would have never went to Deep Space Nine.
Cisco would never have been born.
You're rehashing everything we just talked about, Justin.
Yeah.
Maybe we should talk about Prodigy.
Oh my God, that could just be be universe wide cataclysm.
I'm kind of with Travis. I'm moving to the next topic, but I think if Q does remove like either the Romulans are removed from it or like the Borg are, then this brings in implications to bring in someone like Janeway back or another Star Trek character, and we might even get to see the Enterprise. If Picard isn't. If with Picard being in full fleet uniform, that's very possible he would be like, "Give me the Enterprise," and then go from there. But then
you just went full George. You just went full George. That would be a George theory. Look, what if? I mean, I'm just throwing this one. I are Super Geek Starport here because I don't know if they would dare do
out with it,
like
man.
This. God damn it. So, what if Trelane is involved in altering the timeline? We have not seen him since TOS.
We've already got Q. We don't need a petulant child.
Well, you don't want Junior.
Well, so here's the thing. The most compelling theory about Trelane was done by Lore Reloaded just a couple of days ago. Honestly. And that was the theory that the Q being omnipotent didn't happen as far back ago as we thought. They would have had technology and advanced technology way more than our own, but they would still be on that evolutionary path to become the continuum.
Right.
And that Trelane was basically just
a byproduct.
A primordial Q, essentially a primordial Q.
And
if I may, before we move on to the next topic, I got a crazy George theory. Then invoking your guys' late friend.
All right.
Species 842 comes in and defeats the Borg and destroys Romulus, and Picard is in the Admiralty uniform in a way to fight Species 8472.
Okay. And on that note, let's depart from Picard and move on to the second major Star Trek announcement of this week, and that is that the cast list of Star Trek Prodigy has finally been revealed. We've got names, we've got races, we've got voice actors, and as soon as I bring it up, I'll be able to talk about it.
I said we let Travis lead this one because he was excited for it.
I mean,
here you go.
I'm not very up to speed with voice actors and whatnot. But I mean, I heard you guys I caught in the chat that you guys were saying that the guy who voices the clones in the Clone Wars is involved in the show.
Yes, the guy that
the Blob.
Yes, Murph is the name of the Blob.
Well, I'm very excited for what this show has. It looks that I'm very optimistic for it being, I'm not looking for it to be as elite as the Clone Wars or Bad Batch or anything like that, but it definitely feels like they are, doing a similar route in terms of animation and potentially even
the animation looks gorgeous.
Yeah, the animation looks stellar, and I mean, I'm very curious to see what kind of vibe this show might have, and if we're seeing I'm looking forward to a trailer for this. I'm actually surprised we haven't got one yet because it's coming out this year for if I'm correct.
September.
I honestly thought that we were going to get a trailer dropping the same day that we got the card teaser.
Okay, there's so much thought put into these of the new characters that we have. I'll start with the order that they're in on Trek Movie. The large rock creature is Rock Tak, a Brickar an 8-year-old engineering wunderkind. Now, the Brickhawks
I'm looking forward to that one.
were originally introduced in beta canon. First, in the very first young adult Star Trek novel, Worf's First Adventure. The first Star Trek book I ever read when I was 8 years old. It was awesome. And then later introduced for Peter David's Star Trek New Voyages.
And also, real quick, Ross, they were supposed to be in Star Trek 5. And they didn't have the budget for it.
The rock monsters?
Yep.
So they're already drawing from previous material, stuff that we haven't seen before to do something new. Next is Doll. She is voiced by Riley Ala Zarkuzi. Alazraqui. Aqui. Okay. Alazraqui. I'll keep trying. I'll get it right at some point. Anyway, next is Doll, a 17-year-old member of an unknown species. Fancies himself a maverick. He is the lanky guy with big ears and hair. Justin, if you have the cast photos, pop them up and keep them up. He is voiced by Brett Gray. The most interesting character to me, though, is Zero, a Medusan. We haven't seen a Medusan. We haven't seen a Medusan since TOS, a incorporeal, genderless creature that sat in a box. And if you looked at this guy, glanced, do not put your feet on the power button, you would go mad. Spock nearly lost his mind glancing at this guy, an ambassador that they were shuttling to a conference. And this character has fashioned himself a mobile containment unit, so he is able to interact and talk with people. And he is voiced by Angus Ermy, and I am really interested to see where this character goes. Jacob Pog. For the very first time, we are getting a Tellarite in the principal cast. This means we're going to get some unique insight into the Tellarite species, and that really excites me. I'm not disappointed that it turns out that he isn't a Talaxian. That's okay. We're getting a founding member species of the Federation in this cast. He's 16 years old, so he's going to be pretty obstinate, and he likes to argue both sides of the argument. That's Tellarites. They love to debate. It's their national sport. The center character who is in the original cast list. Okay, yeah, right there, yeah. Voiced by Ella Purnell, raised on a mining planet and has always dreamed of being an adventurer. A Vau Na'akat. I don't remember where they appeared in Star Trek before, if they have, but that's going to be fun. Murph. Everyone loves the Blob. Everyone loves Murph. Voiced by D. Bradley Baker, the voice of every single clone in the Clone Wars.
I have a quick
and every other freaking character in SpongeBob SquarePants. I'm not kidding.
Many, many, many more. They're like too many to list. He's done a lot of voiceover work.
He's a veteran. He is voicing Murph, the Blob. And that's the cast list. An interesting bit of trivia. We got 2 guys, 2 girls, and 2 genderless characters in this show.
Ooh. To be the new kind of formula for the cast, it seemed like.
Wait, no hater comments yet? Are we waiting on that?
Oh, I'm sure they're there. There are plenty. One of the groups that I shared this with say, it looks like generic sci-fi. Blah blah blah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but they know better.
If I may, this is gonna set you guys off. The Blob. Man, that's a callback to Yaphet. They're taking cues from Orville.
Except he has eyes.
I was going to say the Blob is probably one of Janeway and Paris's kids.
I actually thought that the Blob wouldn't have a voice. I thought it was like the first time I saw the Blob character, it felt like that's the kind of like creature that would make sounds like types of like noises or like trills or stuff like that. I am curious to see what he'll sound like if he's being voiced by clones.
You know what? No. Sorry, Travis, going on that point. How do we know D. Bradley Baker won't be doing those noises?
I mean, that's true.
I mean, Universal Translator is a thing. They can talk to just about anything that clicks. So
as long as it doesn't sound like the aliens in Enterprise where they were wrapping them up in that first season episode, just not that.
No, anything with that. Yeah, we've had a long road getting there, getting from here to there.
Wow, good, nice job messing that up, Justin.
Yeah, I know. I'm tired. It's been a long week.
So, at least it's better than that fucking rock for whatever the hell the High Republic was supposed to be doing for Star Wars.
Oh, God.
It was literally just a fucking slab of rock. You know what I'm disappointed?
What are you disappointed in, son?
I'm disappointed that the Blob isn't being voiced by Elvira.
Who?
Oh, God.
Okay. Right now.
Star Trek. I don't know. I'm so behind. Like, I'm just sitting here listening to you guys like, I really should get into this because they sound deeply into it.
Honestly, I'm not. Like, I saw a whole bunch of articles. It's like a first look at the Prodigy crew, and it's like, didn't you do this 6 months ago when we got that first screenshot of all those people? And now they're doing it because they had the cast reveal. And I'm like, look, okay, Entertainment Weekly. I know you think this is a big thing. You want a first look because you want all that fucking clickbait. A first look should be video of the characters actually being voice acted.
I guess where I get kind of disconnected, it's like I feel like I can't enjoy any new Star Trek thing without catching up because the way you guys describe it, like everything ties into old material. So it's like I've got so much to catch up on before I can even enjoy what's out there.
Just a few hundred episodes.
Yeah.
It's
700 hours or so.
To give you an idea, like I was actually joking, looking up how long it would take to just stream The Next Generation straight through. 7 days and 10 hours. So I haven't watched it because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be so bored and so high out of my mind after surgery. Like, this is what I should do. That way, when I come back to the podcast, I'll be like this big brainiac of Star Trek information.
Never.
Like I'm just saying. Like I need to.
I'll quiz you. I'll quiz you, Randy. We'll see how good you get.
I'm just so intimidated. It's like, oh my God, I've got 20 years of material to catch up before I can even know what these guys are talking about.
Don't be intimidated. See, you can do this, and you can do it the way I do it. See, because I can't binge watch shit. Like, I can't. It makes me physically sick to try and do that stuff. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. But there is a thing. There's a thing I can do. It's when I'm having a meal, I can sit and watch an episode or two of Next Generation.
There you go.
That's actually not a bad idea. That's what that's what I'm gonna do.
Son read my mind. I was gonna tell you that. Just sit and like watch an episode or two, like with dinner or something. There you go.
Pick a day, pick a time. Like, okay, well,
all right,
this day or this time, I'm going to watch Star Trek, whatever. And
all right, well,
we're running up on time. Yep. We're running up on time, so let's chug through the next couple of topics and wrap things up. So, is Batman a selfish lover?
Oh God,
I think DC Comics is full of fucking shit.
Yes. So,
Ross,
in an interview. One of the producers for the Harley Quinn animated series, an adult comedy, by the way, was talking about some of the things that the things that he could do with villains that he couldn't do with superheroes. And in the third season, there was supposed to be a scene of Batman going down on Catwoman, and DC put an accent, said, "No, heroes don't do that. We had these characters to sell toys. We can't sell toys to kids if these characters are performing oral sex on each other. Have fun with the villains. Be a bit more tame with the heroes." And of course,
you literally sell villains too.
So this immediately went viral and was memed all to hell.
Because okay, we've already seen him do it in the comics. What is the harm of watching the bat go down on the cat?
But he hasn't done it in the comics.
Did we just have this whole thing where it was like they just had this moment in the animated? It wasn't the Killing Joke, was it? Where it was the whole Batgirl thing where they were on this whole dilemma about that.
Batman has sex. Batman definitely fucked.
Yeah, he absolutely like took her to the Batcave in multiple ways and one. Like, come on.
It was just on a rooftop.
And one time it was just me and George.
Ross, you knew what I was trying to say.
This
okay,
very special episode.
I actually broke Ross with that one. I legitimately nearly killed him.
You almost killed Justin too.
There is an episode of Bat Radio, one of George's old radio dramas, like audio dramas, where I was playing Catwoman and he was Batman, and we did it on air.
Yeah,
the bat sex. That needs to be a coin term, Dave.
And I gotta say, George is rolling over in his grave with this news, because this is Bat Radio fodder right here. If we had someone who could do a convincing George, this would be an episode.
Batman is a warm-blooded human male. Like, are we just assuming that he doesn't have sex? He's Bruce Wayne. He's rich and he's good looking. He's getting some. We can't pretend that he's not. This is a
Travis,
tragedy.
are you okay?
He's literally called a millionaire playboy for a reason.
It's not that he doesn't have sex. It's that he doesn't perform oral sex.
Well, I thought that was a gentleman's act. I'm just saying I'm like horribly misinformed.
Whoever this representative from DC seems to think that oral sex does not lead to toy sales.
It depends on your market.
If I may, good soldiers follow orders, good men go down.
I mean, we had the bat dick not too long ago.
Put that on a bumper sticker.
You're killing Travis. We're killing Travis's poor self here.
Okay. You know what?
Look, it would be really, really interesting to have a Batman insertable mouth. It would.
Okay.
That is a toy that would sell, DC.
Okay, can I just say that I'd rather buy one of those toys than a stupid Mr. Freeze action figure from that awful movie from the 90s?
Oh, dear God.
I'm just saying.
That was honestly the best depiction of Mr. Freeze that Hollywood could ever possibly do. Let's be honest.
Okay, all I'm going to say, though, is, like, aren't they doing this, like, DC Black Label thing? Like, where it's like, only adults are going to be watching these films, like
I
Joker
said,
and all that. I'm like,
we got the bat dick.
Yeah,
they
canceled Black Label though.
They haven't canceled it.
I'm pretty sure they said something about discontinuing Black Label.
I know the Harley Quinn like spin-off thing from Suicide Squad was part of that whole thing, right?
Yeah, Stefan Segic's Harleen miniseries, that was excellent.
Yeah, there
was some gratuitous sex in that.
So is that bat dick standard in the utility belt?
Go down.
It's just a moment where we have to. It's just a moment we have to ask ourselves.
Welcome to SuperGeeks, the audiobook porno.
I'm canceling the Super Geek show. We're canceled. Good night, everybody.
Just wait until Batman orders Chinese afterwards.
Oh shit!
It's the Goo Goo Batpan.
Shut up.
I am so just like.
Well,
wow.
I think we're all in agreement that this was pretty silly.
Look, DC's position on this is just stupid. It's just stupid.
Hey, I'm just saying, with Marvel doing the family-friendly approach, why not go full ham, DC? Just do the worst things ever. Just be like, we're an adult audience only now.
I don't know if it's even official, but like the statement that DC put out that I saw on the whole thing afterwards, after this blew up, is just like a convoluted ball of them trying to say nothing while trying to be apologetic. And it's like,
that's
the
corporate
fuck?
bullshit for you.
You've heard of Elf on the Shelf, now you got Bat and the Cat. It's
like, it's not that we don't think Batman wouldn't go down on somebody, it's just that corporate speak. We didn't want to get our lawyers involved in any of this. And look, have balls, DC. If you don't want your Batman to go down on people, just come out and fucking say it and leave it at that.
No balls. Well, no, fat dick.
Yeah, we've added our own bit of meme to this. Time to move on to our gaming topic of the week. No good segue there. Sorry. E3 was this week.
Come on.
The only winners at E3 were Devolver Digital and Nintendo.
Well, Devolver Digital is just awesome. So, a lot of stuff happened this week with E3. Far too much for us to cover in the time we have left. So, a few of the highlights. Elden Ring's gameplay was revealed, the latest in the Soulsborne series. Bethesda finally released images and footage of Starfield, their next open world RPG.
Which I have no hope for.
Which will be coming to Game Pass as well, day one.
Yes.
Broken
Zelda Breath of the Wild's 2 release window and trailer was released. Avatar is finally getting a game.
Ugh.
So here's the thing. Avatar as a game would actually work, especially if it's an MMO.
Actually, they have one that's on PS3, and it was actually really good.
Yeah,
we're talking about
James Cameron's Avatar.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be better than any of the upcoming sequels, all 5 of them.
That will come out next year, and then next year, and yeah.
We got our latest look at Halo Infinite, and it has me intrigued. I was not a fan of 5, but I'm interested to see how they're course correcting.
How is Cortana back?
There's a convoluted explanation for it that kind of works.
Video game logic.
No, there's not a convoluted explanation for it that works. It's a not Cortana. The best explanation of this came from Liana Kersner. And this is not Cortana because those two are literally talking about Cortana in the third person. So that creature is not Cortana, and this whole entire Halo thing is Halo Infinite, the search for Cortana.
So
hold on. Now
Halo's smart AIs are made from deceased human brains. Dr. Halsey cloned herself 3 times and used one to create Cortana. The other scan, John after Halo 5 went back to Reach, dug out the vault that that these brain scans are held in, and this is one of the result of one of those scans.
You know,
I guess we know what happened to Sam though. Samsung Virtual Assistant, she became Cortana.
You know, Raina and I often talk about just how fun the campaigns are in Halo, and we always say just how completely screwy and batshit insane the lore of this franchise is.
Dude, that's like big understatement.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoy the story and everything, but like, Jesus Christ, like the lore is all over the place.
So one of the biggest things we got is that we didn't get an update on Metroid Prime 4, but we did get the news of the next Metroid game in the line that takes place post Fusion, and that is Metroid Dread.
Dread.
I love the horror aesthetic of it. I love that because Metroid Fusion is such an underappreciated gem. Like
absolutely.
Us who played it know why it's great, but there is like a whole group of people that were born after that era that have not played one of the best GBA games of all time. It's fantastic. I was excited when they were like, "This is a follow-up." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Finally, some Metroid Fusion love.
It looks like they took everything they learned from the Metroid Samus Returns remake and applied it to this game.
What's with the heavy sighing? Is that you?
No, it's me.
Why?
What? Why?
Because Nintendo's E3 was fucking terrible.
It was. Oh my god! It was.
They teased us. They teased me so hard. I was hoping Metroid Prime 4. Oh, we're working on Metroid Prime 4. We're working on it. Here's Metroid Prime. Here's Metroid Dread. I didn't want that. Here's this Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. Didn't want that. I wanted the release date. Here's our Switch has been around for 5 years. No, I wanted a new console. Nintendo dropped the ball so hard at this E3.
No. Okay. Let me explain something to you, Mr. Kirkley.
Try it, son.
We have just been through a worldwide lockdown where manufacturing has stopped on 90% of shit. Do you know what that includes, Mr. Kirkley?
Video game developing.
No. The manufacturing of consoles, Mr. Kirkley.
It didn't stop them from selling the whole time, though.
In fact,
because they couldn't meet demand.
Of course it didn't, Raina. Do you know why it didn't? It's because of this thing. It's because of this thing called artificial scarcity. They had the product already. They were just trickling it out. They do not have the capacity at this point to meet any new demand for a new console because they literally can't get the chips put together.
I think you're missing the point here. I'm not talking about the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5. The Switch was selling like hotcakes and manufacturing was going as normal during the pandemic. That console was selling like a hotcake, and Greg's right.
It still is.
We're 5 years into the Switch's life cycle, and all we get we're getting Wii ports. Like literally, it was a Wii centric. And don't get me wrong, I'm excited to play Danganronpa and things because I never got to play those games because they were on other consoles. But Breath of the Wild 2 has shown us nothing new that's interesting. I would honestly say Metroid Dread is the best thing that they had in the whole entire showcase.
Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
That too. I'll give you points for that because
that
deserved a sequel.
I was so looking forward to this. Like I was like Nintendo E3. I was like, we're gonna get a Breath of the Wild release date this year. It didn't happen, and then I was like, okay, fine, next year. I hated when they said, oh. Hopefully 2022 might kiss my ass.
And actually, Greg, you know what's something else that they missed out on? We have Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, the remakes coming out here in a few months. No new footage on Legends Arceus as well. Like,
they could have done that easily.
Look, don't get me wrong. This is one of the biggest anniversaries for Zelda to date. Do you know
35
what the biggest,
years.
Do you know what the biggest thing we got from The Legend of Zelda this year is? A Nintendo Game & Watch with the first two games and Link's Awakening and then a Whack-A-Mole with Link in it.
Yep.
Let's bash on Nintendo a little later.
That's their anniversary thing after literally having a whole last year and the first half of this year of fucking Mario's 35th anniversary.
Oh, that was a horror show.
And no new console. I mean, come on. Everybody else is bringing out.
So I'm not saying that Nintendo was literally number one for E3 this year. I'm saying E3 was so shit that Nintendo sits at the top of that shit. And the only reason Devolver Digital sits at the top of all of it is because Devolver Digital is known for going, fuck the industry.
My favorite trailer from this E3 was the teaser for The Outer Worlds because it was a lampoon on video game teasers.
Fantastic.
They took the Devolver Digital route.
Well, it's also on brand for The Outer Worlds since it's a parody of hyper corporate culture.
I was like that trailer alone like makes me want to try out the Outer Worlds. I have not played that game yet.
Play it.
But
it's good. It's fun.
I'm sure it is. Like I've heard a lot of good things about it. But that trailer is definitely like that had me chuckling pretty hard. That was a really well done trailer.
Honestly, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the highlight for me was the Guardians of the Galaxy gameplay preview trailer where they were trying to sell Rocket off to people so he could infiltrate them, and he was like, "Are you kidding me? No. What are you, crazy?
I need to see this. I need to see this. I need to see this."
No, there's a dialogue tree for missions beforehand, and the one that they showcase is they're trying to infiltrate a bunch of scrappers, and one of the options is to sell Rocket off to them.
Son, do you want to talk about the latest in Sea of Thieves?
Oh, so it's really nice that Disney has hired Johnny Depp back. Especially in the wake of all of the truth coming out between Depp and Heard. And Amber Heard still seemingly having her roles in Disney. So, Sea of Thieves brought on not just Johnny Depp, but it seems like some of the cast from Pirates of the Caribbean.
But it's not his voice,
back, baby.
The trailer for this expansion starts off with what sounds like the lady who plays Calypso introducing the fact that you're going to meet Jack. Then it's revealed that Jack Sparrow is there and is voiced by Johnny Depp. After that, we see Mr. Gibbs and hear his voice act. And hear him, It sounds like the guy who played Mr. Gibbs, Barbosa, and I'm not sure if they got Bill Nye back, but it sounds like Bill Nye playing Davy Jones.
Bill Nye, the science guy.
Not that Nye.
Science guy. It's Sea of Thieves is just so boring. It's literally the worst Rare exclusive.
Well, see, this is an entirely crafted storyline for Sea of Thieves.
Oh, it's got a story finally. Okay,
yes.
Well, I may tune in.
Well, they've actually had a few storylines now in expansion. The fact that this is a new storyline is nothing new. The fact that it's a Disney integration is something that everybody was basically going, when is that happening? That's finally now happening.
I'm honestly actually not surprised out of all properties that they picked that one.
Well,
really not.
Kind of thematically perfect.
Yeah, and not to mention Sea of Thieves is like cartoony and non-violent as hell. Like the players are more violent towards one another than that game will ever be to you. Sea of Thieves is just one of those things where, like, I'm glad that it's coming to its own. I played it at launch. I paid the $60 entry fee for it, and it's like I just felt so burned by it when it came out. I guess maybe this will be enough to get me to come back though, because I love Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, dude, even the bad films are still entertaining to me.
I'm probably not going to be too interested in it unless they do a Secret of Monkey Island crossover.
Oh, Ross, dude, I would so be in that. If they do that, you and I are going to have to stream together, man. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
I love that game.
Let's rapid fire through the rest of this. Game Pass got a bunch of news. They added 12 games to it during the conference, and we got a trailer for Atomic Heart, post-apocalyptic Russian craziness. Far Cry 6 gets a DLC where you play the biggest villains from 3 on forward. That's awesome. I want to play as Voss. Diablo 2 trailer, or Diablo 2 remastered trailer. And final standout for me was the vampire fighting game Redfall. There it is. Any other standouts from you guys? Quick.
Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song.
Yes.
Kazuya and Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Screw you, non-Tekken fans.
It was fun to see him just casually toss characters into a volcano. Like,
no. The funniest thing out of all of that was him trying to toss Kirby off.
Kirby
Kirby is Kirby, and Kirby's just like, doop.
I personally am kind of curious about Stalker 2. And I actually thought like this might be like a choice, but I actually was kind of curious to like I'm actually curious to look further into Forza 5. Street racing games like that I can have a bit of an enjoyment with, and Forza has been a series I've been trying to, get into.
My two MVPs from this E3 were definitely Back for Blood. Thank God we're getting another Left 4 Dead type game because those are so fun to play with friends.
It's the spiritual successor.
And honestly, I'm excited to finally get to play Danganronpa. Every time that comes out, that collection, it's on a system I don't have.
Well, I will say this. The other game that I'm looking forward to is owning the Pikmin clone, Tinykin. Because that exists on Steam right now as a wishlistable item. So I don't have to own a console for any of that shit.
No, nobody for Battlefield 2042, 128-player melee?
Nah.
See, here's the thing. I don't buy games at launch anymore. So I am interested in it, but I'm more interested in seeing what Neebs Gaming does with Battlefield friends in it. That is what I'm more interested in.
I already did a couple fun
players. Could you imagine?
Well, see, here's the thing. That trailer, so many people hated that trailer, and I go, look, that trailer was literally DICE going, hey, this is what the players of our games do in these games. Like that guy who literally jumps out of the fucking fighter plane to fire a fucking rocket at the other fighter plane and then jump back into his own plane. That shit that's happened before.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it was Neebs Gaming that killed a helicopter with an ATV.
With the Jeep. They attached to C4 they call it Jeep stuff. So they attach C4 to the Jeep and they launch it off the roof or something into the helicopter and blow up that C4.
Well, we used to do that in Halo. They're attaching the sticky bombs to the Warthog and send it off flying in the direction of people and just watch what happens.
That trailer leaned so heavily into what the player base actually does, and I don't understand why so many people who are part of the player base hated that trailer. It's like, guys, this is literally the shit you do in Battlefield 4.
The truth hurts.
Because it's in the future, and the future is bad.
Oh, and let's not forget the Spec Ops The Line vibes from that entire thing. Because that entire trailer was set in Dubai in the midst of what? A fucking sandstorm.
Hey, something I have to bring up before we move on, Ross. Did you guys notice, speaking of, like, we were talking about Batman before, that, they announced last year about Gotham Knights and the Suicide Squad Kills Superman, those two games that were supposed to come out. There was no coverage for them at all.
No,
none. There was nothing. They've like kind of gone dark. I wonder if they're like slowly canceled or something. Because you know how they are over at Rocksteady.
There's been a lot of rumors that Warner Brothers is shutting down its gaming divisions, and that might be having rippling effects into its licensed properties.
Because I was actually excited for Gotham Knights, like to have that Batman experience with friends, like. I haven't heard
them shutting down. Sorry, Raina. I thought them shutting down their gaming was a result of the AT&T crap. That's
possibly,
going on now.
But now that all that's getting spun off, we'll see. All right, that was E3.
Oh, we forgot to mention Xbox getting cloud gaming.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
That was part of the Game Pass news. Xbox is trying to compete with Stadia and get into streaming, and I think they'll probably do a better job.
Xbox is gonna lose.
If your streaming works, you're doing better than Stadia.
Actually, I don't think so, because getting an Xbox console right now is very difficult.
Yeah, but you know what? Impossible. Now they're saying that you're going to be able to stream these new Xbox Series X games to your Xbox One console. You don't even need to buy a Series X anymore.
TV.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're trying to phase out of consoles.
You don't even need a damn console. You're not going to need a console. It's going to be cloud gaming, and this is where we've been headed.
They don't see profitability in consoles because they're going to make a few barely anything per unit with how much they're putting into them. It'd be cheaper for them to just bank off a Game Pass.
And
see, that's interesting. It's interesting you bring that because my local GameStops here are doing a program that's still live. I even checked. Any Xbox One X in any condition can be traded in, and you get a Series X for $250.
Damn.
And I'm like, my friend's like, hey, trade anywhere. Mine's a Gears of War commemorative one. I'm not going to trade my One X in. But you take an Xbox One X in any condition, they take your Xbox, $250 cash, and here's a Series X.
Even the One S is very popular right now. Still, even the old one. Back when I was looking to see if I could possibly pick one up, and you can find even with the One S or the One X. I mean,
I'm not telling you to hack, but they also make very good emulation boxes.
Well, yeah, that's another reason.
I hear they make great mini.
So I wanted to point another thing out about the Sea of Thieves thing. I honestly don't think that Microsoft just went to Disney and said, "Hey, can we do this?" I think Microsoft threw an ass load of money at Disney and said, "We're going to do this," considering that Microsoft literally bought Bethesda for more money than Disney bought both Marvel and Lucasfilm combined.
Yep.
I'm just looking at the article real quick here. It says Depp and the Bill Knight that you played Jones in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies are not features in a pirate's life. However, that does not mean some voices from the films are not back. The guy that played Gibbs is back. Yeah, but they had Johnny Depp's stunt double in to try to guess these voice sentences for Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, but I honestly, son, I would argue that it's the other way around because I think there's some mutual deals going on with Disney and Microsoft anyways, because there's been this rumored big Star Wars RPG that Bethesda has been working on.
Oh, God, no.
And there actually seems to be some merit around it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're working in tandem behind the scenes. So,
well, if that's the case, Bethesda's trying to fuck up a whole bunch of properties at once.
Probably.
They already turned their own property to shit with the Elder Scrolls.
It's Todd fucking Howard. He ruins everything he touches.
Then they fucked up Fallout, right?
This is why I am not holding my breath for Starfield.
The official Bethesda Twitter gave us a teaser for whatever the hell new Indiana Jones thing Bethesda is going to be doing. So that's going to get fucked up. And now you're telling me there's this rumor about Star Wars?
Yeah, there was a rumor that started circulating last year that when Disney was talking about not just going exclusive with EA anymore, that they were going to fan out. And one of the ones that had got leaked that was apparently part of this deal that actually had a successful deal was Bethesda. And there's been this big rumor that they're working on some Star Wars-based RPG behind the scenes, and nobody knows very much about it except that it's being worked on.
Oh, God,
we're starting an hour early next week.
Yes, we are.
Let's go on. What are we watching?
It's time to wrap things up, folks. I love I love all the gaming talk that we're doing. Finally, but it's
almost like this is what having a new host does. Oh shit!
But let's wrap things up.
You know what? I'm going to give you that one.
It's time to wrap things up.
Okay,
Travis, what are you watching?
So on Disney Roulette this week, we actually watched Up.
And
with Up,
this is the second time I have personally watched it. It's a good movie. It's very, very heartfelt. The opening made me, miss my girlfriend very much, and there really isn't too much else going on in terms of what I'm watching. Up's a good Pixar movie. I couldn't help but, when towards the end, there's a bit of a chase sequence, and they do some platform hopping on these rock spires, and they all collapse. And I was just thinking to myself, like, I was having like flashbacks to this asshole in Utah who went to Goblin Valley and basically pushed over one of the little rock spires. And I mean, these are formations that took millions of years to form, and they're very delicate, and they are like, these things are not exactly just spread out through the world. These are very precise, like things that form in very precise locations due to, like, where water once was, and the erosion factors and everything like that. And this guy just toppled one over and destroyed nature. And I'm watching this movie, and like these guys are platform hopping on these rock spires, and they're all falling down. And I'm just thinking to myself, no, what do you do? No, those are some beautiful rock formations. You're destroying them. I mean, I know it's
Wait,
what? Just a movie.
Was that Travis?
Yep.
Do more of that.
No.
Travis is literally the adult form of you as a kid when you picked up one of those shiny rocks or one of those interesting rocks, and your parents take it away and throw it in the trash. But it was interesting. Why?
I like,
and I gotta say that was absolutely perfect for the Beeman of that dinosaur you're fighting, son.
Yes, it was.
Well, yeah. I hate that they've given us a Quark type villain in a Ferengi in Star Trek Online. I've never wanted to kill a Ferengi so much in my fucking life as I want to kill Madron, because at every turn, he literally, we have every right to either arrest or outright kill this guy, because he does everything he can to kill and or betray us or you as the player. He even got a dinosaur from the fucking Voth, for Christ's sakes, that I just put down.
Anything further to add, Travis?
No. Other than that, I mean, I played Biomutant, which is starting off pretty damn fun. So that was my week.
And Titan, I mean, you were playing that right before the show. We had to literally pull you away from that.
Titanfall itself is like, I like Titanfall, but I mean, Biomutant is more story-esque, and yeah.
All right, Greg, what have you been watching this week?
Not Bad Batch, apparently. I'll catch up on that tomorrow. I don't know why, but my girlfriend has been watching this show called The Borgias. I'm not sure what it's called. About the Borgias, about the Pope. Jeremy Irons is playing the Pope. I mean, it's Jeremy Irons. I'm interested. But been watching that. I'm kind of weirded out. Other than that, though, I've been actually doing some Twitch streaming. So I've been streaming Breath of the Wild for fun. It's just in giggles.
Welcome to the Twitch Club.
Yeah. I hate you guys. This is your fault.
Well, we gotta get blamed for that. That's a good thing to get blamed for, I think.
But I've just been Twitch streaming, and it's been going pretty good. Girlfriend's still recovering, so taking it step by step. Other than that, though, I'll watch Bad Batch, and I'll be ready for next week.
Sweet. Son, what have you been watching this week?
Oh, by the way, this is that oh good God, what is his name? That all right guy. That
Matthew
guy.
McConaughey.
This chick in Star Trek Online voices his lines in a lady voice, like a Southern Belle type voice. If you're playing Star Trek Online, she sounds just like him, just female. Like even at one point in this mission, she goes, "All right, all right, all right." And so I want to point that out before anything else. This week, Defunct Land. I've talked about Defunct Land before and about the history of Disney and all that kind of stuff. Defunct Land had a new video this week, and it was a cooking video. Defunct Land, the guy who runs and does the voice stuff for Defunct Land, actually went and made Disney's The Handwich.
What?
Yeah, okay, you know what the Handwich is. You just didn't know what's called the Handwich. The Handwich is literally a bread cone with filling in it. And Disney was selling this in the late 80s and through the mid 90s. And retired it and has seen it return in several different occasions in several different segments of the park, not called the Handwich. Like there's a Cars, like the little Cars area of Disney usually sells a chili cone, which is basically a bread cone with chili in it. And so, yeah, it was really interesting watching Defunct Land do this because the episode itself went through two different like style changes. You know how we talked about WandaVision having the television era changes, right?
Yeah.
So like the start of this episode is Defunct Land in that 1950s, 1940s style of, you know, home cooking kind of the sandwich of the future kind of thing, right? So he's cooking in a crock pot and all this kind of stuff to make a barbecued handwich. Then he jump styles and it's like this 1980s style Julia Child cooking show with this guy who thinks he's got way too much sex appeal for anything, cooking like this bacon salad, you know, chicken bacon salad handwich, right? And I loved it. That was my ASMR. That was my. I have never been so fascinated and sitting there also cringing so fucking hard, and I loved it. That's my ASMR.
Raina, what have you been watching this week?
I've actually been going back to an anime kick. I stepped away for a long time. Actually, Dave, the one who was in the chat, kind of scared me away from anime because he's spoiler-centric on everything. So I started making a new approach because I wanted to go into it. I went to start watching things that are old or obscure, like just on random sites. I got into one called Feral Bites. I ended up watching a fantastic anime movie called Summer Wars, which is probably one of the best things I've ever seen, and by the Digimon creator, no less. But also, and I watched Beastars again in preparation for season 2. So,
sweet.
Yep.
Justin, how about you? What do you watch this week?
Is he? What?
He's dead.
Is he dead?
No, probably just had to get up.
I'm here.
That's
there
funny. There he is.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, everything kind of went wacky out here for a second. Let's see, what was it? I finally got back into Elite Dangerous a little bit this week. It's still broken as hell. So if anyone's looking to buy the Odyssey expansion, don't. Just wait.
Don't buy anything at launch. Do not buy anything at launch.
Yeah.
You don't even do it to play it if you're going to beta test the alpha. Just wait for them to fix the damn bugs. Give them a year, and it'll be good. Because that's how long it's going to take them to fix this. Other than that, I started to watch the movie Infinite on Paramount Plus.
Oh yeah,
and if you want a movie that is shit, watch that because it is the most typical, predictable pile of crap ever created. Don't bother. But yeah, other than that, yeah, that's been pretty much it. Other than our shows that we talked about earlier, and yeah.
All right.
I have a real quick, Ross. I have a suggestion for you, Raina. If you are interested in like sciencey type of anime, look up Serial Experiments Lane.
I'll write that down.
So yeah, that's a good one. I really like that one. Okay, Ross.
Me, it's been mostly my usual diet of YouTube, a bit of Rooster Teeth's Achievement Hunter Gang, playing Minecraft in the mode of You Dead, We Dead. If one character dies, everybody dies and respawns.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Internet Today's Weekly Weird News did a story about a lobster diver who was accidentally swallowed by a whale.
Yes.
Not swallowed, but he was held in his mouth for several seconds, and it was quite traumatizing. Just today, I watched a documentary, not a documentary, but a video essay analyzing Metal Gear Solid 5. Looking at its hidden themes and looking beneath the surface level and getting to the real meaning of what Kojima is trying to say. And it got me in a mood to replay both Metal Gear Solid and Death Stranding. Justin, don't you say a goddamn word.
Hold on, stop, Justin. I just seen an interesting video going on the game topic. Rooster Teeth Death Battle did a new video for their 10th anniversary, the rematch of Link versus Cloud, and I call bullshit on that outcome.
I'm kind of dubious about that as well.
I've not seen it yet.
It's worth it. It's good.
Watch it for yourself and tell us who you think is going to come out on top in this titanic battle of god-killing femboys.
Yes. I would like to ask the question, Ross.
Yes.
How long was this video essay?
About 45 minutes.
You got to pump those numbers up, son. Those are rookie numbers. I literally handed you the link for a 7-hour breakdown of Death Stranding.
Yes, you did. I still haven't gotten all the way through it yet.
Last week, I told you guys about a 5-hour cover of just Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who.
Yes. Really, some 2 Matthew McConaughey references in 20 minutes and couldn't remember his name.
And actually, to go off of what you're saying, son, and Ross, I've been following this YouTuber called White Light. He did a 3.5-hour analysis of Need for Speed Carbon, a game that does not deserve that much in-depth study. But you know what? It actually got me to go back and play it.
You know what?
That's great. That's awesome.
I'll chime in on this, and I'll do an opposite thing. Where this video would actually probably normally would be somewhere between like 5 or 7 hours. This guy did the entire Kingdom Hearts saga in less than 30 minutes, and it's the best summary of Kingdom Hearts.
Travis broke me with it this week. He broke me with it where I was laughing so hard my throat was actually hurting.
That's actually impressive, Travis. I'm not gonna lie, that's impressive.
I believe you.
The fact that you can condense all of that contradictory information into less than 30 minutes, that's impressive.
Oh, it's great. It's like I've never played a single Kingdom Hearts game, but like this channel, like it's basically just a shit posting channel for Kingdom Hearts memes and whatnot. But this guy has done like every single Kingdom Hearts game in a nutshell, and he does these like each game is like, you know, has a video that's like maybe like a minute and a half or like maybe 5 minutes, but like combined, it's like only about 30 minutes, and it's absolutely brilliant.
Travis sent it to me, and the horrifying thing about it being a meme is that it's so jokey and doesn't take any of the game seriously, but sadly every joke describes what is happening in game perfectly.
The last bit of Weekly Weird News was that there's a online petition trying to get Jeff Bezos to buy and eat the Mona Lisa.
I saw that.
There's There's also a petition to deny Jeff Bezos re-entry to Earth once he takes off.
Oh, come on. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Of course I signed it.
And the last thing I'll mention is Epic Rap Battles of History released their latest riff. Ragnar from Vikings versus Richard the Lionhearted.
It was good. It was great.
It was. Everything ERB does is gold.
Well,
even
now,
the cringy first one.
Now we know it just now we just know it takes 6 months between videos with them not having a major backer.
But they're getting good sponsors. All right. Let us bring an end to this. We definitely exceeded my hour and a half goal.
Mm-hmm.
But we did have a lot to talk about. So
and we were going about 10 to 15 minutes before we started the show.
Thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us for this episode of The Real Super Geeks. I'm saying it here and now. We're starting early next week so I can get some damn sleep next weekend.
Okay. I mean, I did record over 2.5 hours of footage, so I mean, we're at the end of it.
Good.
So instead of 9 p.m. Pacific,
Justin, where can people find you?
Twitch TV, Commander Separate.
Raina, where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/RainaWolf.
Travis, where can people find you?
In their closet, their bedroom closet.
Perfect.
That's not true. That's not true. Travis will be on Facebook crying in the largest Star Trek group going, I just don't want to live anymore.
That was dark.
But that's literally kind of what happened. All those people that rush into the Star Trek group to make these weird fucking complaints, even me at one point, I read some of that shit. I was like, God, I don't want to be part of the fandom anymore.
Yeah, there's some pretty negative folk there. We love you, Travis. Don't go anywhere.
Mr. Kirkley.
Yes.
Where can people find you?
You can now find me streaming on Twitch TV Crazed Pokemon Go Raider. I blame you guys.
And Sun, where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/Sunseal. You'll find me Sundays and Tuesdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Central Time.
And my name is Ross, also known as Live Love Play. You can find me at twitch.tv/live_love_play. And if you're watching on Twitch, you're already there. So thank you very much. It's been a wonderful show. It's been a wonderful week. And I hope this coming week, and this weekend is going very well for you all. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Happy Juneteenth, now a federally recognized holiday.
Yeah.
And until next time, remember to live, to love, and to play a little bit every day. Son, if you would.
And remember, you are all loved and appreciated by just your being you.
Justin,
and
play us out.
Spay and neuter your plushies. And if you managed to make it this far, thank you very much.
All right, that concludes our... Sorry, Justin, go ahead.
Go ahead.
That concludes our regular show. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned. A few of us are going to stick around and read the headlines of the weirdest and wildest news that comes out of Florida in our Florida Man post show.
It's the superhero that nobody wanted, but everybody loves to hear about. Florida Man.
The one we deserve.
The hero
all right, I'll be calling it a night.
Mike Lane.
Calling it a night too, guys. Appreciate it.
Me too.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye. Really?
What? Wow, did Ross peace out too? Okay. So, start up the voice changer, Justin.
Oh,
I've got.
They bailed on us.
I've got a thing.
Oh God, here you go. Hang on.
Okay, you ready?
Go.
Okay. Florida man wrecks liquor store, blames it on Caterpillar.
Florida man. Oh, God.
Florida man arrested for armed robbery after stealing cream cheese at gunpoint from police chief's daughter on Gun Violence Awareness Day.
Dumbass Florida man.
Every time I read this headline, it gets me. Florida man drives semi-truck the wrong way through a Burger King drive-thru. Tells officers he's been drinking Listerine.
Dumbass Florida man, possibly related to Trump.
Oh, God. Oh, wow. Okay. So, back to the normality of Florida man. Florida man.
There's no normal in Florida man.
Yes, there is a normal in Florida man. I'm about to show it off. Florida man arrested for having pants down in public.
Okay, Florida man.
That's a normal Florida man.
Yep.
Florida man accidentally purchases water tower for $55,000.
That's a hell of an accident for a Florida man.
That's not a Florida man headline, but it's on the Florida man thing. Come on, Florida man. It says Florida woman attacked by alligator while walking her dog. That's not a Florida man headline.
Well, maybe the alligator was a man.
No, it's an actual No, the picture. Oh my God, Justin. The picture is the Florida man story. Hold on.
Oh, God.
I have to share this with you. You have to show this. Show this picture. That picture is the Florida man headline for this story. Exactly. You have to show this.
Oh, God. Hold on. Let me set it up. Wow, what the? Share screen. And share. Plop. That one.
The cops are literally arresting the fucking alligator. They're arresting the fucking alligator.
Well, I guess that's how you do it in Florida.
That's the Florida man headline for that article.
Wow. I've seen people duct tape those things, but handcuffs?
Yeah, look, that's the thing. It doesn't. Okay, yeah, no, its mouth is taped up, but it looks like they're fucking arresting the fucking alligator.
Wow. Well, I guess you gotta restrain him, because if not, he'll flail around everywhere and getting hit by one of those things. It's gotta be unpleasant. And I'm talking right in my voice changer, and I don't care. It's one of those days. Let's go on.
No, I understand. At some point, you just don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
I know how that's at that point. That's literally the point of every single one of these Florida man headlines. It's a person who's reached a point where they just don't give a shit anymore.
That's how I feel after 2.5 hours of the show. I was like, whatever happens. In a good way.
Florida man man in his underwear hits deputy in the face with a Bible and screams, "I condemn you," then shits himself.
Condemn Florida man who needs diapers.
Oh my God.
Yeah, another response to Trump.
Yeah, no, I think that's all I've got this week.
Oh. All right, well, that's it for the show, everybody. Thanks for anyone who actually managed to survive this long and hang out with us. We'll be going a little bit earlier next week. I'm going to try to shoot for maybe 7-ish, I guess. And we'll see how it all works out for everybody. We'll try to have it posted by Wednesday. And if I can ever get with Ross early around in the week, we'll be testing the new setup. But until then, we'll see y'all next week.
See y'all next week, everyone.